What's he doing?
Sorry, guys. I forgot to put my phone on. Oh, am I still there? No. Yeah, there I am.
Hey.
Sorry, guys. Last minute, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Good evening, everybody.
I should put mine on, actually, now you say that.
Yeah.
Evening,
Hello,
Siebe.
guys.
Good
Hello,
evening,
Siebe,
everybody.
my favourite Dutch person.
Am I the first one who was back the second time?
Yes.
Yeah.
By demand.
By demand, yeah, I saw it.
By demand.
Actually, I was quite surprised that I think like 5 people came up to me at the Koi show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They saw the live stream. That was quite cool.
Yeah.
Well,
We've had at the Koi show, Siebe, we had quite a lot of positive feedback on it all, and your appearance, definitely got people's ears listening. So yes, welcome back.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
So
Awesome.
absolutely already been covered. Back by popular demand, Siebe has given me about 4 hours work today with the amount of stuff that he's shared. So
that was
not
that much, actually.
It's good, mate, because what I've done now for guests, I've made them their own folder because people want to come back. So that means that we've still got stuff to discuss later on if we don't cover everything. So, yeah, on the pulse for the admin, it gives more people stuff to look forward to and all that malarkey. So, right, like always, so we've introduced a new thing into the show, Siebe. Everyone that joins us will now receive a Koi Show Live top. So
Perfect.
all I need from you, mate, is a size, and we will get one shipped, or maybe 2 shipped over to you.
Lee can bring it, I think.
I'll bring it.
Yeah, but can we rely on him to remember it?
Are you serious? I used to deliver paratroopers to the DZ. I can deliver a T-shirt to Siebe.
No, absolutely. So we want to start spreading the word out there. Also, at some point during the show, we will put a link out for someone to come on, answer a simple question to also win a shirt. So we are literally pushing on that. If you want a shirt without winning it, message one of us free, and we will then get it sorted out. And Yasukoi, who are the people that do our designs for us, they will be in touch with regards to payment, etc. We will get nothing from it because we support the businesses that support us. Let's just say that. Okay, that's playing it. We're supporting them because they support us. So fair few in this evening already, but I wanted to touch with something from Siebe to start with because, those people that don't know, he did come down to the National Koi Show with us very recently, 2 weeks ago now. Although it seems a lot longer with the amount of weather heat wave that we've been having that's killing everybody. Siebe, was that your first time being at our show or second?
Second time. I was there last year as well.
This year, yeah.
Yeah. So, thoughts on the show this year?
Actually, last year I liked it a lot already. I think this year the bar was improved a lot, which helped because you could get a drink very easily. But what surprised me always is how much stuff you can sell at those Koi shows as dealers. I think this Koi show was at the All England Koi show last year as well. Then it's also dealers sell quite a lot of stuff, but this show is insane. The amount of koi that are getting sold, the amount of dry goods, food, whatever. It's perfect actually. It's like a ideal place to be as a hobbyist, but also for a dealer. This makes it really stand out as a Koi show, I think. Because if I compare it to European shows, it's totally opposite.
Well, it's a quick question that's just come in, Siebe. I want to get it up immediately. Does Siebe know Stefan from Koi TV? And could we get Stefan on the show?
Oh, that's a good one, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I do watch a bit of his stuff. Actually, he knows his stuff. I've seen him in Japan this year.
Actually, what I can do actually when I go over, because I'm planning on going over to the Dutch show, towards the end of next month. I can see what I can do there. I can put some feelers out between Siebe's translation skills and our show. I'm sure we can get some other people on, some interesting people. Not going to be as interesting as Siebe.
Stefan, his English is actually good enough.
His English is very good, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Stefan, Siebe?
Yeah, a little bit. I saw him in Japan so many times. Actually, I think I've met him more times in Japan than I did in the Netherlands. But he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I actually know him a little bit as well, so I can definitely approach him under the cover of darkness.
Should I disclose what we've got coming up?
Yeah, we've got some quite interesting people coming on.
Right. While I pull that up, do a comparison for us, Siebe, between the differences between the Dutch koi show and our koi show. Why they are different for terms of commercial as well as domestic, if I think is probably the best way of putting it.
How do you mean domestic? Like
people taking part, etc., and
exhibitors
and punters turning up, because there is quite a large difference. So
I think the best koi show we have is the Holland koi show in August. Maybe not quality wise, but for people showing up, it's absolutely the best. But the difference is that everybody is scared to buy fish at koi shows, and there's so many discounts online that nobody bothers anymore to buy any dry goods or whatsoever on koi shows. Mm-hmm. So I think for visitors and exhibitors, it's still a great place to be. But for dealers and people having a stand, it's a very hard time. Maybe it's nice to see some customers and speak to them, but almost all of them that I meet on the koi shows, they lose money being there, which I don't think is the best way to go.
Has that changed a lot, Siebe? Because I think I've done the show 3 times at least. The last one was probably it's got to be 10 years ago. And I thought there was quite a lot of dry goods at that time being sold, because we remarked on it saying, wow, look at all the stuff going out. And there was even a lot of koi being sold because they were going out in prams, wheelbarrows, you name it. There was bags of koi going out. Has it all of a sudden now gone the other way because of online and everything?
Yeah, I think so. And they changed the venue last year, which I think was a nice improvement. So maybe this year we'll be back on what it was 10 years ago. Yeah. But I think also because our country is so small, even if we take Belgium in it, it's so small, so it's not really special for visitors to come there and see that dealer, because you can just drive up anywhere in 1 hour.
Yeah. I mean, I was amazed at the sheer volume of people who attended it as Joe Public, if you like. I couldn't believe it when we went for the first time. The queue when it was at the castle.
Yeah. You always had an insane queue.
Oh, yes, it was absolutely hideous, the queue there. Never seen so many people.
I think they had 15 or 20,000 visitors in one whole weekend, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Which is insane, isn't it? It's a massive amount of people.
Yeah.
Because we always used to go on the Friday, because you could go on the Friday then.
Yeah, and they skipped the Friday now. So it's Friday is benching and bringing in the stuff, and then Saturday, Sunday is opening times.
Right, okay, right.
So, question from Matt Clowry. Can we have some more info on the show and where it is, Siebe?
Yeah, it is in Appeltern, which is maybe a difficult name, but it's quite in the center of the Netherlands. So it's drivable for any airport we have, basically. And what was the other question? Where it is and when? And it is the 16th of August, I believe.
16th, 17th, I think.
Yeah, 15th and 16th.
Yeah, 15th and 16th.
I used to drive at Siebe. Would it be further driving or closer now? From
Holland, it's closer.
It's closer. Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, because it wasn't a bad drive.
It depends if you come with the ferry or through the tunnel.
Through the tunnel, we used to do.
Then tunnel should be a little bit further, but maybe half an hour.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad. Yeah.
How far is it from the tunnel to drive?
4 hours.
4 hours, something. Yeah.
Matt, I've just posted you a link to the website, mate, so you can see it.
I think I used to stay in Arnhem. Was it Arnhem?
Arnhem. That's close.
Yeah.
No. I think you stayed at Arsen.
Arsen, yeah.
Arsen, yeah. Arnhem is close to where the show is now.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, we stayed in Arsen. Yeah, that's a nice place. That is, Siebe.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah.
So I'm gonna just give you a rundown of what we got coming up. So next week we have got Bernie Woodlands and Alan Tate, Koi Judge Supremes of the UK. They will hate me saying that, that's why I said it.
Team Gorgeous.
Then the week after, Tim Waddington is penciled in. I'm still waiting for a 100% tick in that, but it looks very promising. And we're also being joined by the North of England Koi Show team on that one as well, to give that a little bit more publicity. Theo from Keegan the following week. So the guy that owns the Keegan food range, which Lee is demonstrating with his finger. Then we are away on the 7th and 8th at the Northeast Koi Show. We'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing that week, because Dave's away on holiday as well. Is doing fishing, is catching them with a rod and line.
I have my phone.
Well, there's still chance. We've still got to do a little bit of cheeking on that. Then we've got a mystery guest that has sent me about 3 million pictures yesterday. And then we've got Paul Mack the following week as well. So, we are getting very well sort of ticked up. We're working to get Evo from the Koi channel on. Frank that does Detox. I want Dave Gardner to attend as well, who's a good hobbyist. And also Rob the Boss, who is a wholesaler for Europe that works direct out of Japan. So we've got plenty of people lined up. If anybody else wants to, there's also a couple of dealers that have messaged as well from the UK. We're going to try and get them on at some point in the near future as well. So, we're doing really well. I'm really pleased to be perfect.
I'm sure, didn't you say representative from Mountain Tree was interested in coming on as well?
Yeah, so I'm currently in talks with them. I want to try and I don't want to disclose too much because I don't know fully what's going on, but I am in talks with Mountain Tree at the moment. So, and that spans a bit more than just the Koi Show Live. Fingers crossed. So,
excellent.
That's looking good. So, right, Siebe, Koi hobbyist in the UK versus Koi hobbyist in Europe.
Who would win in a fight?
What are the main differences that you're seeing, bearing in mind that you're traveling more, from the hobbyist vats that you see at the shows to what's going on in Europe? Is there a massive difference?
Yeah, I think so. I think we like and appreciate bigger bodies more bulkier fish. But maybe that's also the way people at the Koi show judges, how they see the koi. Yeah, probably if they like skinnier fish, then people like skinnier fish as well. But I think if I saw that Koi show 2 weeks ago, and the shows we have is that all bigger fish are heavier. And on the same time, I think people in the UK, but maybe I'm wrong, if they are willing to spend more on smaller fish than European people, they like to spend more on bigger fish at the same time. Because I didn't see so many koi over 80 at the Koi show.
Yeah.
No.
Very few.
Yeah.
We never do, to be fair, Siebe. There's normally, I would say, at circa 15 most.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right about the body size. I mean, I've still got it actually. I've got a really nice Sakai Sankey, and I took that around the shows last year. Done okay, but I had a couple of people say, well, a couple of judges saying, it's fat, and I'm like that. No, I mean they it wasn't getting it, and then obviously it went into the digital koi show, and the Japanese breeders that was judging it was like that. Yeah, young champion, boom, on the button. So it's definitely something in the water that UK judges definitely like a more old school slender body. I'm sure of it, 100%. You hit the nail on the head there.
Because also we had a Belgian koi show where they invited a lot of UK judges. And there we had a customer of mine brought a Sanke and a Kohaku that won probably best in size or best in variety whatsoever. But they said that koi was too fat, those two koi. but he brought the same koi 1 month later to the Shinkokai show where we had Maruju judging, Taniguchi judging, many Chinese guys, and the Sanke that didn't win anything in the Belgian koi show from the UK judges won unanimous grand champion at that show.
Yeah, there we are.
Which was basically the same fish in the same condition just a month after. Which, and I think that's what I saw back at the UK shows I've been as well. Is that the bigger fish are not so heavy; they're quite skinny in my eyes.
Do you? I mean, for me, the way that I'm looking at this is the way people are set up in Europe with regards to their pond setups. They have less drawbacks with running costs to people over here, and you tend to have more real estate to be able to put in bigger ponds as well, where most of us in the UK, if you're buying a house now, you'll be lucky to even put a pond in a back garden because they don't give you much land anymore. So I'm thinking that there's potential there for when you see, for example, what Evo puts out when he travels across Europe, looking at some of these ponds that he does, bigger volume of water, more drum heavy, feed heavy as well, over like what we was discussing before, when you've got an air source heat pump and water costs, that's relatively cheap in comparison to what we see over here. I think that's part of the drawback that we see over here, Siebe.
Yeah, I agree on the cost, but I don't think you need a huge pond to get huge koi.
I agree with that as well.
I've been in a place in China which is named DHY, Daheguan, or something like that in Chinese, very difficult name. And he keeps like 20 big koi, over 80 koi, in 25,000 liters. And now I don't know how many gallons that are, but probably
5,000 gallons. 22,000 liters is 5,000 gallons.
Yeah, let's say 6,000 gallons then maybe.
Yeah.
Even he had 5 koi of over 1 meter in the same pond. And he likes those smaller ponds more because he can control all the water parameters better in there. So yeah, I think we have more volume, more bigger ponds, so also probably a bigger chance to get big fish. But you don't necessarily need that big size of ponds.
I think the European market also tend to buy more females. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, it's hard to sell. Even if you got a insane, beautiful quality male, it's impossible to sell for a decent price.
You see,
there's a comment there. Daniel Adams has made a comment. Can we bring that up?
Yeah, there you go. So Daniel Adams states UK dealers push male fish, hence the more slender bodies. Now,
I can't agree with that. I think customers demand price, which dictates what fish you buy.
Yeah,
that is the 100% fact. No matter what anybody says, if you walk into a breeder's in Japan, the fish of a male quality, if the quality of the female and the male is the same, the female's 3 times the cost and more. So basically, we're not pushing them, but it's a way that the hobbyists can have a really nice quality koi because they haven't got the budget for the female equivalent. And that's as simple as that. So it's not, I don't believe, dealers pushing male koi. There again, you've got to remember, for the UK market and the UK koi show scene, 75% of all awards are male. It's only when you get to your grand champion and jumbo champion and all the rest of it does that come into it, and that's a fact. So I don't believe it is dealers pushing it. Do you, Krafty?
I don't think it is, mate, because when we don't tend to go to Japan with a shopping list, unlike Siebe that's got a shopping list as long as his arm for all these type of koi. With people willing to put quite a lot of money down for Tozai and Nisai that want guaranteed females. I have got customers that do that. Of course we have, and we all will have if you haven't already, Lee.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when we go and most of the fish that we pick at Tozai, right, which is what people want to spend the money on at certain price points, they all want the £200-300 bargains.
Yeah.
Right? You're lucky to find that diamond, aren't you, that does turn out to be female.
Yeah.
You know, if you want guaranteed female that's got big frame, big body, with an expectancy list being ticked off, you've got to be prepared to pay the big money. And
I don't think most people now realise, Krafty, like you've just hit the nail on the head. If you want to go to a breeder now and say, "I want a guarantee on this as female,"
yeah, which is even harder than this eye.
You will pay an extortion. I mean, you've only got to look at the Dainichi auctions, all the other auctions now. You're getting this female as of when I took the picture a month ago or whatever. No guarantee. So even they're not prepared to guarantee them anymore. So if you want that same breeder to 100% guarantee that as a female, you are going to pay the price. And that is a price that I think 95% of hobbyists in the UK won't pay for.
No, there's only a small amount of those hobbyists at the top end that want big female fish. Personally, I've done I've competed in the shows for about 6 years, and mate, honestly, I'm all male. I've had issues with females spawning, and oh mate, nightmare. For me, my favorite category sizes is from size 1 to size 5, which is all male dominated pretty much, which suits me absolutely fine. And if I ever become a hobbyist again, I go straight to Japan with a shopping list with only males on it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's just me.
But that's not pushing male selling, Lee, though, is it?
Of course not. No.
It's just it's just where we are. It's just where the hobby is in the UK now. I mean, I can remember going to the National Koi Show 20 years ago when you had John Helens and you had the likes. You had many really, really top end hobbyists, and you would see 75 cm Goshki. You'd see a whole array of big fish. But all of them hobbyists have gone over the years, and now you're left with very few what I would call real top guys that can compete at that sort of size.
And I think that Wayne Margetson makes a very good point. For us, for everybody, I suppose, it's not just what we won't pay, it's what we can afford.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and that's a big part of it. I mean, I can remember being at Okawa about 3 years ago. This is no word of a lie. I had 2 fish in a bowl, 1 male, 1 female, equal quality. And at the time, they had equal bodies. They were very difficult to tell apart. Obviously, the female, if we was to leave that in Japan, would have progressed bigger. There's no question on that. I could have sold one for 8,995 Nisai back in the UK. The other one I'd have needed 3,500.
Which one went?
Yeah. Which one did I buy?
Yeah.
I bought the one that I could sell because it wasn't a case of pushing it, but
there's that motion when you've got a shop and you've got fish livestock.
Yep.
We've had this conversation many times, both you and I, Lee, Dave and Lee. The big fish, if they're not ticking the right boxes because of the money that they command, they can sit around forever.
Yeah.
Gone are the days in the UK where you've got a pond with, Yonsei and above, your 70s, 80s swimming round that get bought rather, let's say, more than 10 times in a year. That's gone. Very, very rare will that happen. So as a business to survive, we've got to make profit, and you can't put all your money into big fish that don't move on, because that's an investment that you may get a return on in 3 years. That's Colin makes a good point here. Colin Holland, thanks for joining us, mate. But the Japanese are breeding larger males now, and I'm going to throw that over to you, Siebe. Right, you're well travelled in Japan. You get to see, as you'll see in a while, guys, so don't go anywhere, some rather nice fish come up for sale. What is the Japanese mentality towards male fish now? Have you seen a movement in how much they want for them fish when they select them as Tatagoi, grow them on, and realise they're male? Are they still demanding bigger money?
No, they are still so much cheaper than females, but they are getting nicer, and they appreciate them more. And what's also a difference is that on All Japan they have separate male classes. So yeah, you can win with male koi in your own class instead of competing against females, which are much bigger and heavier, of course. But yeah, it's not that they are. They I think in Japan the difference is that they appreciated males already for a long time, but they just appreciate females more anytime. But the quality of the males is getting better, especially if you see the new bloodlines. Momotaro always had very good males. Some others have great males, but I think Momotaro is now by far still the best and has been the best for years.
Yeah, I'd agree. Gavin DA1, I'm just going to say Gavin. I buy fish I like within his budget. If female, great, but wouldn't stop me buying if male. And I think that in the UK, when you look, I mean, Knight's Koi, let me just bring his comment up. I think this actually does bode, like you said, Siebe, you don't need big water to grow big fish, but over here, people do tend to throw quite a lot of fish into their ponds, which sort of slows that process down or that progression. Would you say people more overstock their pond in the UK as well? I can't speak for what they do in Europe, but I do see that if you get a bug in the UK, people tend to buy a hell of a lot of fish, which they then have to work out when it's time to move fish on, and that's the bit that I think they struggle with the most, because they've invested money into them fish and they think they're, but they're hindering their own progression in their ponds.
Well, that's it. I mean, buying a dozen tozai and growing those for 12 months, a dozen tozai volume wise is a lot less than a dozen nisai, and people don't realize that. I mean, someone told me once the equation of the volume of a fish from, let's just say, from 45 cm to 65 cm, the fish doubles in volume. Even though it only goes an extra 10 cm, the volume of it actually doubles, which is of what's actually pushing your filters over the edge, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's why I weigh my tozai in my growing facility now.
It's surprising, isn't it? It's surprising what a centimeter in length will do, which is not a lot really, but what it will do for volume, it's quite impressive, isn't it?
Like with the Matsuas I'm growing now, 1 cm is equal to 100 grams of body weight.
It's a lot.
So if they all grow 10 cm, you have 1 kilo extra of body weight in your pond.
But it's not, though,
10
because
kilo,
it's
10 kilo, I mean, which is quite heavy.
It's the rule of subtension. You know what I mean? Like, the bigger the fish go, that 1 centimeter is not just 100 grams more, whatever you just said. It's actually more because it's all over the fish. You know
but
what I mean?
I think what people do is they of course they overstock their pond, but actually overstocking their pond is just not investing enough in their filtration system.
That's right.
Because if you have a huge filter, you can have a lot of koi in your pond, but a lot of them just go for a combi drum. That is good for maybe keeping 5 koi on top level, but not for 25 koi in the same pond. Yeah. And that's what it makes overstocked is you can't feed your koi enough. Now I have 10 tozai in one pond, and I feed them 600 grams a day. But I know hobbyists who have 25 yonsai or gosai or a mix of whatever, and they don't even feed 600 grams a day. So that's the difference, and they don't see the growth results or the body results, but just because they don't feed enough or cannot feed enough because they don't have a filter for it.
Yeah, and you stole my thunder on that a little bit, Siebe, because when it comes down to, as them fish get bigger, they need more food.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, and a lot of people don't change their feeding habits or their feeding regime with their fish. And quite often, if they did, their filtration with the size of the koi they get may become inadequate if they've not got a big enough moving bed, for example. And
that's right.
And that's why I think you see more skinnier koi in the UK as well. If I'm honest, a lot of the show vats in the UK, there's quite a lot of 1-2 year old sort of show hobbyists, I mean, Phil Norton, he won't mind me saying this, is a good lad. He won junior champion at the show this year.
I mean, from a fishy source from me, by the way.
Yeah, which gets the accolades down the bottom.
Gushiki, right?
Yeah.
His fish from year on year have got better and better because he's listened to advice, and he actually changed up the whole of his setup this year, increased feeding, and I don't know if he reduced stock or not, but his body's definitely increased based on what he's seen. So unless people adopt the advice that they get given, and we've said this time and time again, but unless people do that, thin out their stock, increase their feed, you know, to keep their filter intact with less stock, more food, you don't see.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think as well? I mean, we're just talking about combi drums. They're just, I mean, yeah, it's a good idea, but there's just not enough. There's the mechanical filtration is sorted, yeah, but there's not enough moving bed area in those. But I mean, obviously, I built my pond with a built moving bed, so I got 750 liters of moving bed there, which is quite a lot, and about, I don't know, 250 kilos of BHM. I mean, and actually I've added more filtration onto the top as well with the sort of trickle tower thing. But a lot more people now that I've noticed are actually making their own moving beds, which I think is a brilliant idea. Do you know what I mean? Don't think you can beat a drum. I think they're really, really good. But I think, you know, the combis they're just not big enough, are they? That moving bed section, it just can't keep up with what it needs to do.
You know what people underestimate a lot is the volume you actually need to feed a lot of your filter. If you the newest biggest koi farm in China is Suchin, and they are building a new greenhouse equal to Sakai's biggest one every year. So every year you see what they improve. But what they had on the first year and still have is that they have they're the 30% of their total amount of water in the pond they use as a filter. So for example, if they have 100,000 liters of water in the pond, they have 30,000 liters of filter, and that's ridiculous. But with that, they have so much flow, and they can feed whatever they want, and that's why the fish grow so fast. And that's the same in what Sakai is doing with their new ponds.
I mean, you've summed it up, Siebe. I mean, you're feeding 600 grams a day?
Yeah, on 10 tosai.
On 10 tosai, so that's 4.2 kilos a week.
Yeah.
So people have got to buy a 5 kilo bag a week.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why.
That's for 10 fish, Siebe, right?
That's for 10 fish.
For 10 tosai, yeah.
Yeah, so you got 20. So you got 20 in there. That's 10 kilos of food a week nearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's the conversion going to be when you get another 10 cm on them fish, Siebe? How much?
The thing is I want to be close to 5% of the body weight as long 5%. As I can.
Wow.
And that's very difficult to maintain because the water quality needs to be perfect to have them eat that amount. If you threshold water, they will eat less just because they don't like the water or they have something, whatever. But I want to be there as long as possible. And I know if they get heavier, 5% will be more difficult, and you will slightly go down gradually. That's fine. But for now, I'm on 5% of body weight. So last video, that's like 1 week ago, I measured all the body weights of the koi, and then I changed my amount of food to that body weight because the week before I was on 450 grams. So I added 150 grams extra because I did a remeasurement of that body weight. And I will do that again in 4 weeks. And then I will, do another remeasurement of the body weight and adjust my amount of food to that again.
See, and I don't know many hobbyists at all that even go to that extremity personally. You know, does anyone know anyone that weighs their fish out before they put their feed together?
Sakai.
No, I'm on it. Hobbyists, mate.
No, it's a really good thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, especially for that controlled environment. That's really good. I mean, I'm hoping to be able to do the similar kind of thing maybe during the winter now. What Siebe's doing is going to be interesting. It's a great learning curve, isn't it? I think it's good. It's really good stuff. Really interesting video that was last week.
I don't know many hobbyists that stick 5 kilograms in a week.
No, and
I know
but the
one.
thing is with the body
It's
weight
not
is if you start measuring it, you have a better sense of how heavy your koi is. So actually, I kind of know how much a fish is weighing from each breeder now because I've done it for some time now. But I'm doing it now to show people what measuring the body weight can actually do to your koi, because then you know exactly how much you can feed maximum instead of gut feeling.
Yeah.
And usually the gut feeling of people is just feeding too little.
Well,
It's
out.
never the maximum.
Mm. Mm.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're going into show, but if you're not going into shows, you don't need to worry about it either.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
so it's not. If you want the most out of your fish, and let's go back at Auto Blip. Asked the question, hi guys, do you think that pushing fish too hard? I mean, that's a little bit of an ambiguous statement, too hard. And feeding heavy young is detrimental to the fish health long term. Anybody want to stab at that to start us off?
Yeah, I think so.
And depends what size, and yes.
Well, you know what I always compare it with? It's like with a treadmill. You know where you run on in the gym.
Yeah.
If you have your koi on 25 degrees Celsius all year round, the treadmill goes very fast. And then, sooner or later, the life of the koi is finished, right? But if the treadmill goes very slow and that equals the life of the koi, then your koi can grow to 30 years old or whatever. But what I say to my customers is, do you want to see your koi, which you have bought with a lot of potential, to reach their potential for 3-4 years maybe, or do you want the koi to never reach its potential and just live very long time? And some of them they choose for enjoying the koi long time, and some of them they just want to see their koi on top level, hopefully if they reach it, for 3-4 years.
I think if you want to grow a koi now to a good size jumbo, you've got to accept the fact that koi is not going to have longevity.
No, maybe it lives for some time, but the beauty will be gone very soon.
It'll be good once you get it there, but you will no longer see these koi at. I mean, All Japan winners used to be what, 11 years old?
Yeah, before they were, yeah.
What are they now? 4/5 maybe?
Yeah, I think the youngest we had was 6.
6. So they've halved the time to get to the same or even bigger result now. So, you know, it is why you very seldom ever see an ex-grand champion for the next 5-6 years somewhere.
And that's because what did you see with those grand champions when they win once and they really are on their peak? Is there usually the growth is okay, the body stays okay, but the skin and the belly has a very hard time to maintain on top level. And that's why you had S Legend who won 2 times. You had M Legend who also won 2 times. It was quite a long time ago, but I think these years will be harder and harder to win, because if you saw the Dainichi Grand Champion from this year was 6 years old and the skin was super shiny.
Yeah.
And then you had other koi that were crazy big, even bigger and heavier, but they didn't have that special skin because they were 2-3 years older already. And that's why it's so hard to beat those big young fish, because they have the whole package.
Well, you can't compete against them now, can you? You've got to now replicate. That's why everybody's trying to push the barriers now to get these Tosai at 45, 50, 55, and then you
need them to reach 95, 100 cm as soon as possible, because you want to have that young skin on the fish.
Without a doubt. So it does it has detrimental effects onto the koi's longevity. It must do. It has.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But for breeders, they don't mind.
No.
Because breeders don't have ponds of 20-year-old koi, 30-year-old koi.
No.
Maybe they have some older fish, but they're all super ugly, super skinny, and those are parent fish. If they have a fish for sale which is 6 years old, it's really special. That must be the best fish they have from that breeding year 6 years ago, because they like to sell everything as soon as possible.
Yeah, and so if you ever do see them that they've been there for too long, they don't look that good either.
And they don't mind at all about longevity. They just want to sell their koi. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
While we're on about selling koi, I'm just going to change gears a little bit. So What is the biggest method of selling koi in Europe at the moment, Siebe?
Oh, you mean method like
From
To
a
which channels?
dealer to a consumer?
As in WhatsApp, websites,
Shop.
Yeah.
shop.
I think
Shows.
hobbyist physically going to shops is done. They still do, but not as much as they used to do. Websites are important, and just social media is important. But I
Social
think what I
media.
always say is I sell more pictures than I sell koi, because taking good pictures of your koi and good videos really, really helps a lot.
From a sales perspective.
Yeah.
Cool, because we was talking, there's a few of us that was talking about the fact that so many of us sit on this now, the phone. That for dealerships is a massive selling tool.
Oh, yeah.
But I think personally that we are losing a little bit of the ability to actually understand, appreciate, compare fish, and only what's dripped under your nose becomes available to sell. What would you say is the most important part of buying a fish? No, I'll put it to the whole floor, not just Siebe. The same with you, Lee and Dave, and I'll chirp in as well if you don't cover it. But for me personally, I don't think you can beat looking at a fish in the flesh. I mean, what do you think, Lee?
I didn't quite grasp that. What's the most important? Well, obviously, coming to see the fish in the flesh, I think is seeing a picture of a fish and being interested in it. But I don't think I'd ever buy a fish from a picture, a video possibly. But coming to see it in the flesh, I mean, obviously is, especially if it's an expensive fish or maybe a potential show fish, I think is a must to see it in the flesh before you actually commit. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's just opinion.
For me,
this
it's
is
totally different, actually. Because I said this in a Dutch video as well. Is this year I didn't sell any koi before people saw it in the flesh. Opposite way around.
Yep.
They all bought it through videos or pictures.
But that's why. But they did it because of you, because they trust what you can see. So it's different. We're not talking about you because you're a superstar. We're talking about us, Siebe. No, but they're buying it because they trust you. You are their ears and eyes, especially to get exactly what they want.
But then the most important thing is for buying a good koi is trust your dealer, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
But what if okay, you haven't got that trust because you've only been around for a while, like in just coming into the market to buy koi, for example. I mean, I don't know what happens in Europe, but certainly in the UK, it is absolutely flooded with WhatsApp sales. That, from my opinion, I think is probably too much now because too many people are doing it. It was a little bit like the YouTube auctions. They was good at the start, but then
they all live their lives.
Starts to do it. I think that, a lot of people are losing out by not coming to a shop to actually see, talk, experience, gain the trust, because at the show this year, there was a lot of fish sold without a doubt, but based on previous sales were down. And that was a common denominator across most dealers at the show. I think that there's potential that the WhatsApp market has flooded that and took that money out the pockets, personally, because too much purchasing has been done before the shows, where the shows used to be like where you went to actually have a look at so many shops in one area rather than traveling around the country. So I personally believe that the WhatsApp sale, too many people are quick to try and bid on a fish that they think is worth money. They don't get to really see what's happening at the dealerships that they buy from, and they don't get to compare what else is in a pond. Only what is put in front of them is what's for sale. And I think people are missing out on that. I mean, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree to a point. I think there's a market for both, but I do 100% agree. I mean, it's different for Siebe because they're trusting Siebe, like Lee has said. Now, I've got customers that will give me a budget for Japan. And they go, look, Dave, I want a nice this. And they know that if I get them something, I'll have looked at it and it's the quality they're looking for. So there's not a problem. But it's when you're gaining new customers, you would think the majority of new hobbyists would want to see it in the flesh just to see how good it is, because the biggest problem now is with all these photoshops and all the rest of it, something can quite easily be made to look something it's not, even to the point of cleaning up pecs and you know what goes on, Krafty. It can all be done. And I think another point is quite nice is that it's not always possible because, you know, we've got customers that have purchased from me that could live down in Wales and they can't pop along to see a fish every weekend. So
why are you stealing my customers, Dave? No, but another thing as well, Dave, I'm just going to pop in quick, right?
Yeah.
So what Siebe saying is absolutely right. But if someone was to contact you, Siebe, saying, someone you've never met before, someone in Holland saying, oh, hi, mate, I've got a budget of £100 for some hiaturis, you probably wouldn't even respond to it because the people you sell for who trust you are that probably 1% that me, Dave, and Krafty will never see because you've worked up to that, which is amazing. But for people that want to pop across to buy, a nice pond filler, they have to come to the shops, don't they? Really, to the bricks and mortar places to have a shop around.
Well, I think it's changed. I mean, Siebe probably won't mind me saying this, but when I was first in Japan 20 years ago, I could comfortably say the quality of koi that came to the UK was far superior to Germany, Holland, Belgium, France, massively superior. And I saw that at the early Dutch koi shows that I used to go to. You know, the koi that we had were much, much better. I think that's fully reversed now. And I think the quality going to Europe is a lot more now that's coming to this country. In that top echelon.
It depends a little bit because you have some great hobbyists like Donald Care.
Oh, we have some absolutely fantastic hobbyists, but them fish aren't coming back to the UK.
Yeah, that's a difference. All top hobbyists, they all import their koi into Europe, and usually they also play on koi shows with them.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some great hobbyists here. I'm not trying to say we haven't, but
yeah.
As a whole now, I think you've got probably more top hobbyists now in Europe than there are in the UK. Whereas I think when I first 20 odd years ago, it was the other way round by far.
Because that's what's quite funny, because the idea of European people is that the koi shows in UK, the level is superior on what we have. So when I showed the link from Liam to all the major winners, and they asked me in the WhatsApp group before, they said, how is the quality compared to our shows? And I said, I think our shows are quality-wise better. The koi are probably better. And that's weird. I always thought that the UK shows should be much better. So I think, you are pretty right. The stigma kind of changed.
I mean,
but I don't know. The European shows level went up so much in 5 years. Like in 2019 or 20, we had a grand champion which was 78 cm. Now grand champions are all close to 90 and bigger, heavier, better.
Yeah.
When I was going over to Japan with Ryan and stuff, we talked to some dealers, breeders over there. And I mean, I don't know, but obviously I haven't been there for 12 months now, come October, but it was always said that, you know, we talked to the dealers, the breeders over there, and they'd say that they reckoned that the best quality fish would come to the UK, but more fish would go to Holland. I don't know what you think about that, but
yeah, but if you see, for example, maybe in their mind, for example, what I said before, Donald Care and Ryan as a company, they buy insanely good quality koi.
Yeah.
So if they put that into the UK part, then of course the better pieces go to there, because we don't have hobbyists like Donald or Ryan get so many prizes. We don't have it. But I think for people bringing the fish physically to koi shows, which Donald doesn't do yet, maybe he did before, I don't know. But what I said 5 minutes ago as well is all the top hobbyists we have, they also like to do koi shows in Europe. So they're buying nice koi and bring them to koi shows as well. So maybe all koi shows just are at their best now because all those top hobbyists, they bring in their koi to there.
Yeah. I mean, how many koi in one of your shows would be competing for grand champion? An average show, do you think, Siebe, now in Europe?
Like how many koi we have in the bigger size?
Yeah.
That you've provided, Siebe.
Well, even what is at a show? Because as Siebe pointed out, you walked around the national. How many koi were up for grand champion?
Well, how many was there? You can remember, Krafty, probably with that spreadsheet. What was in the upper Kosanki sort of like sizes? Not a massive amount, was there?
No, it wasn't. I'll go back. Let me find it.
I've got it here.
Okay.
Right, size 8. If you want to go to a size 8.
Mm.
Size 8.
9.
6.
6.
6. So 6 was competing for grand champion then. What about in Holland, Siebe? What would you average? What would you see in the Holland show, the one that's coming up now in August? How many would you foresee?
August probably not too many, but we had a koi cave show last year, which was actually great. I think
Who
we
won
had
the TC there, Siebe?
My customer.
Yeah, I'll throw that in.
And I think we had, we should have like 15 or 20 really nice Gosanki who competed there.
See, that is just a different league to what the UK scene is. Not knocking the UK scene because it is where it is, but that's the difference at the minute with the quantity and quality of fish going to Europe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Interesting.
Just having a little top up. Shall we have a look at a couple of Siebe's recent purchases?
Ooh, exciting.
It's been quite busy, and I dare say he's a little bit lighter in the pocket now.
Well, I can see him sweating. I don't know if it's the heat wave hitting him or the loss of finances, cash flow.
But just looking at a couple.
All these koi are my. I didn't buy anything for stock. They're all for customers.
So sourced on a. So first and foremost, Siebe, these are from an auction called Nishiki Koi Alliance. Can you just touch on what that is for the audience, mate? So
it's an auction or group made by 3 dealers from Indonesia, Thailand, and Singapore. And what they basically do is they go to top 5 breeders, so Sakai, Momotaro, Dainichi, Isa, and Matsue. And there they buy 20 Tosai each, I think, 20, 15, 25, something around there. And they just auction them, and they do a small show with them in autumn season at the WNC venue in Mihara. And there you can win some prize money, which is quite nice. But nice money you can win.
So this one, I'm hoping I've got all the pictures in the right order. I believe I have. So a Matsue Kahaku, 1 year, 41 cm female, that is offspring of Setsuren. Do you really care about what the offspring is, Siebe, when you're sourcing your fish?
Yes, especially when it's Matsue. Because all the Matsue koi, I have some nice contact with the son Tomo, and every Matsu event or whatever there is, I just ask him for his recommendations. And this bloodline Setsuren, Setsuren with an E instead of an I, is actually the old name. These days it should be with an I. And this mix is with Dainichi and Matsue, the Dainichi male. And what they try to improve is the Benny quality and depth. And they say that this bloodline, the Benny is not so breakable as it used to be. So it can grow and the Benny can still have nice depth. And I'm not so scared that the Benny gets some weird hooks or it breaks or whatever.
Yeah, Matsway fish are quite renowned for Benny progression anyway, aren't they? So
Yeah, they have quite soft Benny, and usually people think soft Benny is weak Benny,
correct.
and that's totally different. You can have very hard Benny, so red Benny, which is actually pretty weak, and you can have soft Benny like this, which could be very strong. But yeah, when it looks orange, it's not usually it's not weak. It's just soft.
Yeah.
Soft with a lot
I've
of
been
progression
told
to
that.
come.
Yeah, you know, soft Benny. For example, if you have breeders like Murata, you know Murata, right?
Yeah.
It's they really have hard Benny, like red Benny, and people like to see red Benny, but they have red Benny on their toe side, maybe on their knee side. And what you see at sun side is you get some pigment differences. So you see dark red spots on their head, you see orange spots on their Benny on the body, and that's because the Benny stretches, but it has so much pigment that it is very hard time to stretch. It's like I'm very white, right? So if you do this to my skin, you don't see much difference. But my cousin, who was adopted from Colombia and is really black, if you do this at her skin, you see so much difference. And that's kind of the same with stretching Benny. If you have this Benny, the soft Benny is like my skin. When you stretch it, so when you grow the koi, you don't see much difference. So the Benny doesn't break that much. But if you have very hard Benny, what usually people like to see, and you stretch it, it has a bigger chance to break because you have too much
With more
pigment to fill.
blemishes. So what you're saying is, Siebe, you as you get older, you will become more delightful. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, actually, that's with koi it is. If I'm getting more delightful, I don't know. But koi it is. This Benny, when it looks pretty orange now, like soft, when they get older and the stretching of the growth stops, then the pigment starts to fill in, and you get a really nice, thick and shiny Benny. That's why breeders like soft Benny.
Yeah. But it's the hardest thing to sell in the shop, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But I've been told that as well. That the soft Benny is the more stable Benny, definitely, to invest in.
Yeah. There's no question it's more stable, but it's the one that gets left in the shop. If you've got a soft Benny Kahaku over a red one, people won't believe you and say
they don't. But when you get it to Nisai, Dave, and that Benny progression's happened, people have been like, "Where have you got this?"
But again, it shows like this, which is there to educate people, isn't it? So hopefully that's going to be a myth from now on, and people start looking for a bit softer Benny every now and again.
Yeah, but it never recovers. It never goes back to that bright red, does it? It'll always remain softer, sort of.
Yeah, but it depends on what you call bright, because if you have soft Benny, which is really good and like matured really well, and you have a nice skin on it, it looks very deep as well, but it's just different. It's not red, but it's very deep still. It's softer but deep.
Yeah.
So when we're doing a comparison on Kahaku, if we had, I don't know, let's say the fish that we see in front of us, right, from Matsue, with a soft Benny that's got a very even Benny plate through head to the tail, versus a Momotaro, same size, same body, that's got a deeper red as a Kahaku, which one has got the best Benny plate out the two? Or which one is best in quality?
You don't know if you can judge the sashi, because the depth of the sashi and the size of the sashi is too important to ignore. You can by only the color and the depth of the plate now, you cannot really say if the Benny is good or stable. You need the sashi to know if the koi starts growing, the Benny can hold the growth. If not, if you don't see sashi on this koi, for example, here you see sashi of 1, maybe 1.5 scale on this koi. But if this koi didn't have sashi and you would grow this koi, it would be a Shiramuji next year. If it does have sashi, then it's a great koi to keep small and keep it for bonsai. But if you don't know by the color of the Benny, if it's good Benny actually, you need the whole package in my eyes.
That's exactly what I wanted you to say, Siebe, that you don't know by the color, because a lot of people when they're looking at fish, they don't understand the aspect of the progression from the sashi that then fills in the skin layer in, etc. They will all automatically think that a deeper benny is better benny, and therefore that it's a better fish, when actually it can be quite the opposite.
I think
Just bear with us, Lee. Just with regards to breaking down what for people that don't understand the terminology, the sashi on the fish is what I call the shady area on the leading edge of the scale, right? That isn't, the colour hasn't broken through the skin, so a little bit like underlying. And the shiramuji is a fish that will lose all of its colour, basically. So
white koi.
With a white fish, just so people are aware. But I think that if anything, just from that one small conversation, people may have just picked up quite a lot of useful tips for selecting Siebe. So thank you for sharing that, mate. I think that's perfect. We'll move on to the next one because we have got loads. And again, in the comments, guys, please feel free to ask questions. Right, that's why we're here. Don't just want to be one-way conversation from us. I'll tell you what, Siebe is so tight. I've just seen him drink like 50p Spa Cola, right? And I ain't even going to ask how much his fish is, but just saying. So this fish, right? Let's have a look. Female. What breed is this one?
Sakai.
There we go. Sakai, top corner. Size of it, Siebe,
42
cm.
42.
All of these are Tozai Siebe that we're seeing tonight.
Yes, all of them.
Right. And these are the fish that big money buy. And I think if you're able to look at your own fish from a £200 fish to something that I would imagine, I've not asked and not going to ask, but I can imagine are in 4 to 5 figures. To be perfectly honest, actually,
I expected this koi to be more expensive than it actually was. And here I have the parent.
Wow.
Can
you fold that over and I'll bring it? I'll load it up, Siebe, if you want to forward it over.
Siebe, did the auction go as you thought price-wise? Was it overall better or?
You know what's funny with this auction in my eyes is that on day one, not many people actually knew that the auction was happening. Yeah. But then people start posting kois on day 3. The prices were much more expensive than before.
Yeah.
I've sent you the screenshot now.
Yeah, that's perfect, mate. I'll just load that up.
And what I like about I have the PDF of the Sakai parent koi book. They send me every year, which is great. But the importance of those bloodlines is huge in my eyes. Of course, the fish has to be nice and whatever the quality, those kind of things. But the bloodline at Sakai, they are so transparent with it, so you can kind of pick a good one out of it. Also, when you see different bloodlines, you see different aspects where you can look forward to or what you should judge the fish on. For example, this koi is from bloodline Aquarius, which you saw on the previous picture of the fish itself. Oh yeah, I can see it here now. And you see the La Vie en Rose, which is kind of a classic bloodline.
Oh, wow.
And you have the Silk Sonic male. And Silk Sonic is great for males because they have insane skin quality. If you look to Sakai's other parent fish, they use Silk Sonic a lot. They also have Thai silk, all kind of silks. And all those silk koi have really nice skin. And what the difference is with this bloodline is you can expect a deeper benny and a more shiny skin, because other Sakai bloodlines, they are made from Karashi offspring. So you had a new implant bloodline, and then you had, for example, Miss Thai, which is a very important bloodline for Sakai for the last years, and some other bloodlines. What you get in those bloodlines is bigger body, bigger volume, but in my eyes, less beautiful skin. So this koi now is a little bit skinny because of no feeding, but I think the head shape is nice compared to the shoulders, and it has a nice body to get some fat on. But I think when it gets older and the sumi all comes up in the shiroji, so the black and the white, and you get a nice skin, all in all together, this can be a really nice koi for the future.
Mm.
The sumi placement on this fish is quite exciting, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stunning.
But the only thing I think many people won't like is the red eye. But I think for this koi it's pretty cool because you have like the
It is. Yeah, it suits it.
I don't think that takes away from
No.
absolutely anything on that fish, mate. This is the unfortunate thing when selling. You know, people would walk away from that fish, you know, to go to a lesser quality fish just because it didn't have a red eye. A lot of the time they look at the wrong qualities.
That's right.
You know what? I would buy that fish if it was guaranteed male.
But yeah, a superb example. I mean, when we bring up, I mean, one thing that I like to do is when you're seeing the parent koi, he's actually looking at the traits in the fish, and you can see on that parent koi for the female that the sumi is fairly heavy in the tail end. So it'd be quite interesting to see what happens in this fish because it's the same sort of traits, right?
But I was in at Sakai 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks. Just before I went to the show. I was at Sakai where they started breeding, so I could ask whatever I want to them. And what they look for is, can you get the parent koi picture again? They want as much tsubosumi as they could get, and that's what you see on both these koi. Both the male and the female have, let's say 90% tsubosumi. And tsubosumi is black in the white, and the reason for it is they want all the offspring to get tsubosumi. And what's cool at Sakai koi is when you see young koi, for example, this one, is you have sometimes the chance that you see the sumi that is now in the benny, so in the red, for example, on the shoulders, that it vanishes as Nisai, because those bloodlines are so well put together to get tsubosumi, is that when you see at young age you see some koi that have tsubosumi, and when they get older and older, the sumi in the benny, it vanishes. And I also have some examples of it, which maybe if I'm quick, I can send you as well, which are pretty cool.
While you're sourcing that, Sai of Up North Koi Pond, where can you find up-to-date parent koi of Sakai?
They have to send you the PDF.
If you go onto their website, normally it'll pick up that it's an English site or an English IP address, and it will load up the English variant of their website. And then they have got a tab on there which supplies a PDF, like Siebe was saying, of all of their parent stock, even back 4 or 5 generations. So well worth a look. Well, it's fired a few at me, so bear with me.
I must say, guys, I really like the picture of that parent koi in a black background. It's very me.
Hey, I noticed that, mate. I noticed that a minute
ago. And it pops.
We all do black. We all do blue backgrounds, don't we?
Well, okay. You can follow everyone. Don't worry about it, sheep boys.
You know, but a lot of people abroad do black background, Lee, to be fair. Right,
I like that. That's pretty cool. I've never seen it before. It looks cool.
So, Krafty, I've sent you for some examples, which are pretty cool. I don't know if you have the
pictures, which is really great.
If you have the chance to put anything up.
Right, let me do this one. Right, I've got to take one off now, so bear with. I've got to remove that one so I can add another one there, that one there, and we go for, I believe, save image file. I think it's not that one. Or that one. That's the one. There you go, my friend.
Yes, this is a beautiful example in my eyes. Now, what you see on the left is the final version on 2023. Top right, you see it as Nisai, and bottom right, you see the parent set. And this is offspring of Shogetsu, as you see. born in 2017. And this koi won Kukugyo 95 Bull in 2023, and its sister from the same age won Grand Champion in the same year. So from the same parent set.
Wow.
Now, in my eyes, what's absolutely fascinating to see is as Nisai, the picture is not the best quality, but you see some black sparkles in the Benny on the first part. And when you see the koi at 6 years old, all those sparkles are gone. And usually, mostly all the black is pushed to the sides of the Benny. It doesn't have any black inside the red. So that's what those year in, year after breeding with Subusumi results in. And that's why these koi, these sanke of sankes are so fascinating and such top level.
So it's going to be pretty impressive if they dial that in just to get a bloodline to produce sumo sumi on sanke, isn't it?
Yeah,
what a feat that would be.
Well, that's the end goal for all of their sanke anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they perfectly want. They want all Subusumi sanke.
Yeah.
Right, let me get some more up, Siebe, and then we'll come back to some of that because it goes in with the progression aspects that want to cover a bit later, mate. So, next one we've got. Can you guys see the picture?
Yeah.
Lee or Dave, do you want to read off what that is while I find the video, please?
Offspring of white dragon, 44 cm, gender female, Kohaku.
So before we discuss this, what aspects of this fish would be a hard sale here in the UK to the audience? Because there's a couple of things on here that I think once we discuss it may open a few eyes.
It's got a pattern that's difficult for most of us to sell because this fish will get better as it gets bigger. That's definitely a big fish pattern. That is. That will just get better as it gets bigger.
In the UK, they'd rather a little bit more Benny on the head, probably, just to creep down a little bit.
Yeah, a bit.
And it's a two-step, but then again, for the shows, a two-step is a really nice tool, isn't it? It's a nice weapon to take to a show in the UK, I think.
I just think the pattern will look so much nicer as a bigger fish.
Well, if you look at the GC this year, it was very heavy sumi block on from the shoulders to the midriff. Colin Holland saying fins. I think that maybe the photograph is not doing it justice.
The photograph. They're hiding them in.
But then you're talking about GC. I mean,
but pattern.
I think if this fish got to size 8, it would probably do well in GC. But I mean, that fish maybe in size 5, 4, 5, and 6 might struggle at the moment. But they're the most competitive sizes in the koi shows.
Yeah.
I mean, getting the fish to size 8, any fish to size 8 in a nice condition, I think you stand a reasonable chance of getting a GC or something like that, But it's getting that fish to those sizes in the UK is difficult. It's a difficult feat anywhere, I think, really.
Okay, so it's about appreciation, not assassination. However, we've got to look at everything. Sorry for covering you up, Siebe. It's too bald on the head, and there is no tail stop.
See, that's tail stop makes no difference.
I don't think the tail stop in this fish takes anything away.
No,
at all.
No.
I think the trouble is a forward vision on this fish.
Yeah.
And it's a fish for the future. With body, this fish is going to look magnificent.
Nice
I do agree that's probably a little not enough Benny in the head. But I think that, again, if you're just looking at the finer points, it has got a pattern on the head. Probably.
You know what makes so difficult for many hobbyists to select a grand champion at young age is because they mind about having little Benny on the head.
Yeah.
You see so many grand champions worldwide. If I turn that fish into a Nisai and offer it for 5,000 euros to all of my customers, I think maybe 5% would say yes. and that's because many of them look to pattern. But for this koi, what you should appreciate is, of course, the pattern is not super exciting, but the finishing of the pattern is great. If you see this size of the kiwa,
Yeah, the
it's
key was amazing.
absolutely perfect. Maybe on the
This
other
side
side you have a
here,
little. This side is brilliant. On the other side you have like 3 scales underneath the lateral line. You can take those out if you want, but the kiwa here is brilliant. Then you have 44 cm as Tosai, and this bloodline is also very fascinating because every bloodline in Dainichi, which starts with white, comes from Karashi. And Dragon is a very classic Dainichi Kohaku line with very thick and shiny Benny. So it's basically the best of both worlds. But now this koi, what Lee said, no chance until it reaches 80 cm. After 80 cm, it could be a great koi for koi show. But for now it's not so interesting to even enter it. But for the future, it's great.
Yeah.
absolutely agree, mate. You know, and I think that Siebe touches really well on, if you understand the bloodlines and the parent stock, having that extensive knowledge when sourcing high-end fish, that's why Siebe is top of his game, because that in itself is so hard to have a full understanding of. So again, you know, I always try, it's not always easy for when we're out in Japan picking up tozai out of mass stock ponds, etc., to know what the parent fish are. Only like when I was in Yamaguchi, I can see the parent fish, I can provide those sort of pictures. You know, at the level that some people buy, that information's not readily available. You know
What's funny with those white bloodlines at Dainichi is I have some now in my growing facility, and their body shape looks very equal to yellow monkeys. They have smaller, the pectoral fins, the side fins, and they have their shoulders are stronger, so heavier. And now I had a pond with 2 kohaku from the white tiger line and 2 yellow monkeys, and their shape is so similar because they share kind of the same rod lines from Karashi, which is very funny. And the growth is amazing, but it just looks different from what you had before with Red Tiger, New Mihara X. The shape of those fishes were different in my eyes.
Yeah, from memory, the red tiger, yeah, I'd agree with you, Siebe. I had some red tiger line, 2 years ago.
These in my eyes have a yellow monkey body with the Kohaku pattern.
You know, how much of that variety is actually in the bloodline now through crossbreeding? Is there much?
I don't know if the males that they use are actually yellow monkey or are the same males as they use for my yellow monkey, but it should be kind of the same. There should be no big difference in it.
I mean, that actually ties me in, not just by chance. If you manage to get your eyes on this book, the Nishigoi Mondo, there's pages in here that are absolutely exceptional with regards to breeding trees. I'll see if I can locate one to give you an idea. Kohaku is absolutely insane when you see how much science goes into it. I mean, this is a gene tree of a Sankey on the page with the flow diagram. That shows like so many generations of what the breeders are putting into their work in order to produce the fish that you see today. A very worthwhile book if you're interested in that aspect. Yeah, for me, one of the best books. I've got loads of questions and answers in there, and done by people that know. I mean, have you seen that, Siebe, that book?
No, never. But it looks
it's a very good book, mate. Very good. Gives you a little bit of an insight anyway and I can imagine that's well out of date now because the amount of additional breeding that goes on.
What they're doing now at those big farms, for example, last time I was at Sakai, they are doing Chagoi crossbreeding with Sanke and Kohaku, and just for trying to get Chagoi brought inside Go-Sanke lines
to get the size.
Yeah, but not only because of the size, but also the white of the bloodlines, how you say it in English, is they don't want inbreeding. So if they introduce
Yeah.
a totally
to break
different
it.
variety in it, and they can successfully input it into a Gosanke line, then they can be free of inbreeding for years.
Yeah, which so the aspect of that is to prevent the problems that occur from a lot of inbreeding within the koi, because you get a lot of body deformations, etc.
Yeah, that's right.
So beautiful koi. And actually, Dave and I already seen this fish earlier. Before you come on, we was chatting about this. Before I bring up the tile for where this is from, please don't disclose it. Looking at this, what is the breeder of this fish, and what do you think that the Sumi will do on this fish? Because it is a bit of a minefield when you look at it. There's a hell of a lot going on. Is this Tozai, Siebe?
Yeah, they're all Tozai.
All Tozai. So for me, all of these Tozai have got what look like Nisai bodies. They're absolutely phenomenal. The body shape on this is already showing that of a shower, as we discussed earlier, Dave.
Yeah.
Let's see what. There's only one comment so far. Let's have a look.
Well, I don't know where this is from, but
Go on,
I
Lee, have a guess.
mean, maybe Sakaguchi.
Nope.
I think there's one element that gives it away, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's renowned fact of that farm, isn't it?
okay. So Sakai is also incorrect.
There's a
It's
farm
not. It's not Matsue.
Nope.
No.
I mean, people are slightly behind us anyway.
There's a farm that their Sumi does really, really.
Phil Norton got it. Well in, Phil. Good eye.
Tamara, is he? But Tamara.
Issa.
Issa. Oh well, okay. I thought it was too obvious. It was going to be Issa. I thought it was going to be something a little bit more obscure.
I'm going to be a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit on the fence here, because I actually am not a massive lover of Issa Showa, and that's merely because I think that the fish that are remarkable are well out of range. I think that some of the Showa that we managed to get to sell on, they don't produce like they should, and I think that they're a lot harder with a Sumi development in our waters. The Issa fish that I've had comes and goes. The Sumi comes and goes all of the time, bounces up and down, and the Sumi development is ultra slow. Not many reasonably priced koi from Issa, I don't think personally, do a great job. However, at the top end of the game, his fish are phenomenal, but the price range for me as a dealer is out of reach in order to sell on. So
The thing with Isa Showa is they are very sensitive to secondary.
Yeah.
So when you buy 50 Showas, Tosai for example, you can be sure that 30 of them has secondary on the belly after half a year.
Yeah.
And what compared to Dainichi, for example, is the tail tube of Isa Showa is weaker than Dainichi. So, for example, the other two Showas, maybe you will show this later.
We are.
Those really have the perfect Isa shape. This one, my customer liked it a lot because of the nice, cool pattern, right? Nice experience to grow this koi. But this fish, if you feed it a lot, it will be very sensitive to get too fat, I think.
Perfect.
We sort of picked that up earlier when we was looking at it, and from the side when the fish starts to go pointing down to the corner, you can see the belly like there. You go.
Yeah, here you see it a little bit. So I think this koi, it can
yeah.
grow safely until like 75. Hopefully it grows fast. But when this fish will get older, like 6 years old, and you start feeding it a lot, it will be hard to maintain a nice body shape.
Yeah.
But it will
It's
still
got a hell of a mouth on it, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I like about this koi is, and what I think is in Showa in general very important, is the controlled motor guru that it still has. Is sometimes you see Montoguru all over the fin already. But what in my eyes, what Montoguru shows is like a charging battery, right? When you are at 0% to 100%, and when the Montoguru is totally filled as a Tosai, then the Sumi is already fully charged. You're already on level max, so it could be nice for koi shows or whatsoever. But when you start growing that fish and when it gets older, the fish is very sensitive to get Sumi spots, like small shimmies, or the Sumi just looks ugly. But this koi really has nice controlled Motoguru, which is maybe 10% charged the battery still, and it has plenty of time to grow and to still have nice high quality Sumi.
And it's not on the leading ray, which I think is very important.
Yeah, that's also right. This is not a perfect sample because on the right side of the pack you have more Motoguru than the other side, but you get the point, right? On the left side, you really have nice Motoguru for the age.
So, do you judge the Sumi on the quality of the Motoguru, i.e. the depth of the Sumi in the fin on shower?
Yeah, kind of. And also, it's very hard to judge Sumi on the Benny because you have double pigmentation. So Sumi on the Benny always looks nice. But what you want to have is, you see it on the tail tube a little bit, is you have on this koi you have Sumi that comes from the bottom of the koi, slowly comes up, and you see a dot of Sumi in the center of the scale in a lot of those places. So that tells me that the Sumi quality of this koi is good actually, because Isa has those old school Sumi. In Dainichi has kind of new style, so that is not the same rules, but Isa has old school Sumi in my eyes, so it still comes up from the bottom to the top, and you need that Sumi dot in the center of the scale to really let it pop out.
So when you're looking off shoulder on that first Benny Dan Siebe, where not the deep set Sumi, the Sumi that's only showing, what are you expecting to happen with that based on your knowledge of the bloodline and the progression of this sort of fish from the...
You know what people think with Tosai is that all the Sumi always comes up, is they expect the koi to totally fill up. This koi will be completely black from the left side, they will say.
Disappear.
Yeah, when the Sumi shrinks, really. Yeah. When this fish starts growing, Sumi attracts each other, so it shrinks. And you get much more space for nice Shiroji to come up. This koi, probably a lot of hobbyists will think, will be so black, the Benny on the end will be completely filled with Sumi. But if you want a classic Showa with like a good balance of Sumi, Shiroji, and Benny, this is your classic Showa. But it just needs time to the pattern to fully develop.
I would expect most on that second Dan there will disappear.
Yeah, at least a lot will go down.
Yeah.
You see, and the reason, it was a bit of a loaded question. Siebe, Dave and I was talking earlier before Siebe come on, and we was talking about the Sumi progression. So, we all also said, if we was to load that out to the customer, to the audience, a majority of people would say, "Oh, that Sumi's come in," like you said, Siebe. And I think that most dealers do push things like that because there's one thing you can't guarantee, and that's Sumi, right? You can't guarantee what it's going to do. There's just no way of... You can have an educated guess, but you can't guarantee how it will finish. And I think I would love to see this in 3 years' time, personally, Siebe. To see, how long would you expect? From my knowledge of Issa, slow developing Sumi, I don't know what it's like in your waters, but would you expect 3 years to be a finished article pretty much?
Yeah, I think in 3 years you will still have that Kage Sumi on the back, but it should be up more than this.
Yeah.
Maybe like 80% already.
Okay.
But it will take some time.
Kage Sumi on a shower though, I think is a really nice trait, to be honest.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really interesting, and it's just another factor of it. I'd look for that in if I was going over to buy something. I think it's another element of the fish. I think it's cool.
For future development, absolutely, it needs to be there. And again, too many people buy too many finished fish too early.
Yeah, well, it's going back to this. Everybody presumes that's underlying sumi coming. They never really anticipate that's actually sumi that will disappear.
That's going to pull back.
It's going to pull back. And on Shiro at Zuri as well. A lot of the time, everybody thinks that, that's going to extend and that's going to extend, where often that disappears right tight to the sumi that's already on a Shiro. So
I think we might do a little appreciation on varieties, maybe.
Yeah.
Get you on for that as well, Siebe, if we do like individual varieties, maybe. Maybe I can coax Alan Tate in as well to give from a judging perspective. I think that would be quite a good discussion and a little panel to talk about things. So, it's good that we're doing this. What an absolute banger this one is. For me, this fish is up there with some of the best that I've seen this year, actually, Siebe. The other thing for me, Dainichi Sankey. Don't see a lot of his Sankey knocking about.
Yeah.
So the fact that this is Tozai would indicate that he's working on something in the background that we're probably going to see some mental let's say pieces coming through.
This M. Sankey Jr. has been around for quite a while already, but they had very hard time with sumi, because what was really funny is they had really nice Tozai, and they put them in their mud pond, and all the sumi would vanish as Nisai. And when they harvest all those Nisai, they thought, oh shit, all these Sankey turned into shit, we just sell them for a shitty price. And the response they got a year or 2 years later was, the Sankey became brilliant. The sumi all came up, it's so nice now. So they kept some pieces for a longer time now. And I think not this All Japan, but the year before, they won 2 Kokugyo, so 2 best in size with Sankey. So that was quite special. I think it was 70 and 75 bulls. It was quite special.
Yeah. The fact that, I mean, let's face it, Sakai is the benchmark for this sort of variety, and Dainichi are probably quite a few generations behind him, but it's good to see him pushing something. And yeah, mate, body on this fish is
proper, isn't it?
It's next level, and it's huge for such
the
a small
plate. The kiwa as well is really nice on it, and there's a lot of sumo sumi on that as well.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah. It's also
and I also like the Kuchi Benny. I like my ladies with lipstick.
I mean, what are we expecting with a sumi development on this one, Siebe, from this bloodline? It's new to me. I'm not going to lie.
I think usually Dainichi of this bloodline, they have very impactful sumi. So it could be right that this koi in autumn season, all the sumi has come up. There is a good chance that will happen. But there's also a reasonable chance that it would be turned into a kohaku, and we need a longer time for it to let it pop out. Because they try to improve the sumi a lot on the M. Sankey Jr. to come out earlier, right? Because, there's no point of waiting 3 years for a breeder for the sumi to come out. It's unsellable for 2 years. So I think there's a good chance for it to come out in autumn season. Then you will have a very good contender to win some nice prize money. But I'm not very sure actually.
Mate, the body on that fish. You sent me over a kahaku that we may see in a while, but when you said you fell in love with this fish from the first time you laid eyes on it, when I seen the body on this one, I was like, holy shit, man! This, I'd love to see how this one develops, mate. I ain't gonna lie.
We can do
a customer that bought this a show person.
But we will see all these koi back in autumn because we all get updates from this auction thing. So if you want, I can come back in December and we can show all the same koi again.
Oh, mate,
that'd be amazing.
I think that'd be great. Just to have the comparisons is very powerful, because pictures paint 1,000 words, right? So, here you go. This is one for the audience. Would you buy this Tancho from Issa 38 cm female. The size and gender of as of May of 2026, just in case it changes its mind or shrinks. But, you know, for me, go on, Siebe. Why did you buy this Tancho out of the amount of Tancho available on the market? What turned your eye to this one?
First of all, because it's an Isa fish, and Isa kohaku are incredible, but they are very hard to get. The skin, the depth of the skin, like the Fukurin depth is, it's the best kohaku bloodline for that. If you saw the Isa Grand Champion at the Niigata Nogyo 2 years ago, the depth of the skin was, I've never seen anything like it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is quite funny because this challenge thing has an A class and a B class, and each breeder selects 5 koi from A class and 1 koi from the B class, and those koi, they compete against each other for the prize money, right? But Isa only had 1 koi for the B class available, so I advise my customer, if you want to have a good chance to win some prize money, go for this Tancho. And also the Tancho spot is great. And I think what many people will be scared of is the color in the fins. But that's some, you see that very often when you grow some koi, especially in Japan. It's just some papilloma. And when you, 1 week later, you don't see anything of it anymore.
Yeah, that'll be gone. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I believe it's more of an advantage for me than a disadvantage because I don't mind. But a lot of people, they do mind, so they don't bid on the fish.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it will be gone. So I'm happy when I see it. This will be gone in 2 weeks. But a lot of people will say, not for me because it has a color in the fins.
That is an amazing Tancho. The body shape is sublime. There's nothing wrong with that. Body shape is pretty, well, let's say textbook, isn't it? You know, there's nothing in that fish. I mean, a lot of people is the black in the fins would be a game changer. They just would not touch it because of that.
It's not, it's amazing, but it's nothing to do with the black in the fins. I personally don't like the shape of the pec fins myself.
Yeah, but I think it looks funny because it has the black in it.
No, it's the shape. It looks like a Spitfire wing, like an elliptical wing. For me, the fish is amazing apart from the pec fin. Nothing to do with the black. That's nothing. It's just the shape of them. I mean,
you find it too straight, and then
I find it's too straight, and then it comes. It's not to my liking. Not to say it's not to everyone's liking, but for me personally, the fish is incredible. Apart from that, which I'm not too keen about, but like I said, it is an amazing fish. The Tancho and the body and the Saroji is gorgeous on it.
Yeah, Dave, you got an opinion on this one?
Yeah, I could live with it, but if it was buying to sell, obviously Siebe's customer wanted it, so he bought it. But you'd have a job to push that on with them pecs. If I was to buy that today and try and sell it today, it would be what would be most remarked about. But as Siebe said, there's every chance that could grow out.
Mm.
And we have got videos of some in a while that actually shows that it does disappear as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is no sumi. It just needs some treatment. This is a huge problem for mud ponds as well. If they get, for example, when they harvest a mud pond, the water gets drained already days or weeks before, which gives a lot of stress to the koi. Then the temperature also fluctuates, and then the resistance and the health of the koi goes down. And then they get those things on the fin, what the Japanese call papilloma.
So it's not sumi, Siebe?
No, it's not sumi. It's like a bit
of an infection. Sort of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like a herpes to human.
Right. So that's different then. So if I knew that, it's difficult because on here it does look like sumi, doesn't it?
Yeah, for me, it's nothing to do with the treatment or if it was sumi. It's just purely the shape of the pec fins for me. That's all. Nothing to do with if it was sumi or if it was treatment. It's just purely the shape of them for me. That's all.
But the body's fabulous, and
it's incredible.
Really good.
Yeah,
the depth of the belly in that Tancho spot is incredible.
It's probably dialed in. Yeah.
I mean,
And the belly is so strong in it, isn't it? Bloody hell.
I mean, to be fair, because the streaming platform downgrades the video somewhat, you're not seeing all of the qualities in that. On what we see from the HD video that gets sent over on WhatsApp, you can see the skin quality and everything. It doesn't. It's always the same with a whitefish. You never quite see all of those attributes, which is a shame.
And it's got a Benny spot that I do dislike tanchos where you've got that discoloration across the spot, and you see that more and more often, whereas that's consistent across it.
Which gives it a strong future, doesn't it?
But it gives it a good depth to it. You know, you've got a half a chance of keeping that there, haven't you? When it's that good.
Yeah, they are a gamble fish always.
If not, they're an expensive Shuramugi.
Jesus, that's nice, isn't it? Bloody hell.
Go on then. Let's have it. Audience, what breeder?
Wow, that is spectacular. That is really nice.
So, Siebe, talk us through it, mate. Don't give the breeder away, because I think if you know the breeder, you got a good understanding of the Sumi on this as well.
Yeah, what I told about the Sumi before, this is kind of the same. You see it coming up from bottom to down. But what I really appreciate about this koi is the body shape. Is where the other shower before had the kind of weaker tail. I believe this koi is super straight for the breeder and the bloodline. So I think this can really be a jumbo showa in the future. Should be able to grow to like 85, around that size, maybe bigger. But it was already the biggest on the auction, and the pattern is great. The penny depth is great. I think this was the best showa for the whole auction.
That is gorgeous, isn't it?
Did you get a good price on it, Siebe?
Yeah, it was not cheap.
Do you know what? If you put the picture back up as well, there must be a time lapse between the picture and the video, because look at the progression on the Sumi on the memoir from the picture to the video.
Yeah, on the picture it's already up more.
Of course.
You can already see as well, classic that Sumi on the shoulder is dropping back.
Yeah, wow, that is incredible fish.
If you look at it there on its right hand side, as we look at it, you can see this messy Sumi in that area, and now it's not.
Yeah, certainly pulled it back, mate, massively.
And when that head pattern joins up to it, wow.
And when that Sumi, solidifies, and it gives you all those little white Saroji windows cutting through that pattern, that is proper dreamy, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is a toe size of 44 cm and the end of May, which is a ridiculous size.
Bloody hell, that is gorgeous. That's my number one of tonight for sure.
Like, yeah, just admiring the body shape and that.
Stunning.
You know, this is what you need to look at, you know, guys, when you're picking out your fish. I mean, Siebe, when you're looking, I'll keep the picture up with a video in the background, but when you're looking at structure of fish, when you're selecting, what are the big attributes that you're looking for structurally when selecting?
The head shape and the shoulders are pretty easy to see, but the tail tube really needs to be strong and straight. You need straight koi when they are younger, because now when we talked about body weight earlier, is not every koi can hold the same weight. It's impossible. You need a fish that is long and straight, so the fat gets divided all over the body. Then you can have a very heavy fish. But if you have a koi that doesn't have a strong tail tube and doesn't keep or hold fat in the tail tube, you won't ever reach a big size of volume. So what we had with this showa and the showa before is the difference is the shoulder are both pretty strong. The head shape is nice, but the second part of the body, like the tail tube, is totally different in my eyes. On the picture, you don't really see it that much, but especially from the side, this koi has so much more length potential and body weight potential than the other one.
So do you also look at the side profile of a structure as well, Siebe, when selecting?
Yeah, usually I do. What I like about the Narita auction, for example, is they have pictures from the side.
Yeah, both sides on the top. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. then you can really see the side and the structure of the side and the bottom of the koi. It's also pretty easy to see, or pretty doable to see it on videos like this, but on the side it's even better.
It's prospect for the future. Is this a show fish as well after when it's brought back to Europe?
Yeah, I think so.
The belly plate on it is lovely, proper consistent all the way through, isn't it?
So
Yes.
without the Benny spot on the nose, does it change your opinion?
I actually like that little dot.
Yeah, it's
Especially
nice.
when the sumi comes up, it looks awesome.
That's going to really finish that face off a treat, isn't it? Mate, you should have waited till Christmas for that one, Siebe. You would have got another 10k for it, mate.
Yeah, that is gorgeous.
Is one of Dave's favourite for the night, I believe.
Yeah, I like this.
So again, Kahaku, a lot stronger in the Benny colour on the picture. Let's have a look at the video. So again, this one's from Matsue, 41 cm female. Absolute banger of a fish.
Oh, that's a different koi in the video.
They're different fish, yeah.
I knew I'd do it wrong. Hang on a minute. Let's find it. I bet I ain't got it. Let's ignore the video for now. Have we done one already? Let me just bring your folder up, mate. Bear with me.
And this Hakuto bloodline is a new one from Matsue. So I think they have now Nisai from it. So they're not 100% sure how they turn out as big fish, but for now it looks very good. So you can kind of be 99% sure that it will be a nice koi for future as well from Hakuto line.
I mean, it's a lot more safer bet than a flowery pattern. I think quite a strong selling fish. What drew you to this one, Dave?
I like the body structure on it is good for. I mean, it is 41 cm. I do like that. I actually think it's got a very nice. I mean, I know we're not all about pattern, but it has got a nice pattern, and I think this fish will grow into that pattern even better. But the head size is good. The pecs are good. The Kiwasashi looks, it's. I think this. It just drew my eye to it, Krafty. You know what it's like. You see one that just draws your eye to it, and I just prefer this one.
Yeah,
Out of the others we've seen.
I'm just trying to locate the video.
You can see the pigment all loaded up on that first dan, can't you? In the scales.
You've got lovely coloration right through the whole body.
Gorgeous. Yeah, really nice pattern as well. Yeah, with those little Saroji windows coming up.
Yeah. It's the sort of pattern that I quite like. It might not be a pattern that everybody looks for, but it's a pattern that I quite like.
And also because of where it's from. I mean, the eyes are not too large.
Yeah, because they tend to be large. There,
sometimes from Matsue they are. I think. This one is quite pleasant to look at.
But it's got everything there to look as if it could grow very big. Look at this.
You can see the backbone. It looks pretty big.
I always think, look at the length from the tip of the nose to the dorsal.
I've just located it. Bear with me.
Very nice fish. And everyone loves a Maritan, don't they?
Did you get to see any of these Siebe in Japan when you was in there?
No.
When you was over there before the show? No.
No, that's why I trust Matsue's opinion so much.
Yeah.
He advised me 4 koi, and 3 of them I got, so that was nice.
Yeah.
And this was one of those 4.
Yeah.
Usually when he says this is a good koi, then it's really a good koi. It's not that they want to.
Yeah. I like this koi.
But you see in my experience, the Hakuto bloodline compared to the Setsurin is a bit skinnier, but it still has that very long shape. Where the Setsurin, they have more a cigar shape. They are very round, and these are a little bit higher but skinnier, but thinner, but very long. But what you notice on the picture and what you see in the video as well is the backbone of this koi. On the video, you see this as well. So I think when this koi get access to a lot of food, then it can
soon
really
pack
bulk
it on.
up really well.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot softer belly actually from the video. The video and the picture, I think, are very different.
Yeah, well, it's just what you get with Matsue. You don't have.
Yeah.
They are the softest benny of all.
Yeah. I think the picture's been enhanced quite a lot. I think the video is more true to the koi. Yeah. I prefer the picture rather than the video of the koi, but the koi is still gorgeous.
You know what it is with Matsue fish is they have nice pictures. With the videos they take with an old silly camera.
I don't think that videos are true.
No, that's it. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's not the koi.
No,
is as spectacular as the picture. I think it's the video. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you pick this koi up and put it in a Sakai video bowl, then it looks fabulous.
100%.
That's the difference.
Yeah. I think it's somewhere between the video and the picture that true colour.
But knowing Matsue and how they develop, I mean, they're not great in hard waters over here, but they do layer up a treat. Their benny is super good when they start getting older. And again, when you look at the bodies that we've seen, like on that one, for example, versus what we see in there, it is a little bit weaker. But again,
and you know what it is? It's just a difference in bloodline.
Yeah.
I don't think it's particularly weaker. It's just a different.
It's just
koi you're looking at.
They just develop different.
Yeah. Which is So when you look at, have you got you sent a Miss Tokyo picture down earlier, didn't you? When you look at like Yamaguchi, when you look at his fish, they bulk out strong as Tozai and then stretch out later on in the development. Some fish work the opposite way around, where they stretch and then bulk.
Yeah, and this koi, for example, it doesn't have very close relationship to Karashi, while the Dainichi that you just showed has, which makes a totally difference in body shape.
Yeah. It's where you're getting that initial body from. Yeah.
And then I believe...
But you can see the backbone on it clearly in the video. Yeah. So that's got the potential to...
Given be very strong.
Food. Yeah.
So we're gonna pull away from this for the time being, because I'm going to bring some other stuff in. If I can find the background.
I'd love to get a nice batch of Matsue Kahaku for next year. That'd be really nice.
I am going to share a link in the comments for those people that are still with us. If I can remember how to do it, it's that one. People will join us as you drop in on the screen. I will add you in the order that you pop in.
Make sure you're fully dressed.
Yeah, no half-naked people today. I know it's hot. Let me just get into the comments. We're going to ask you a simple question, and you will win something, whether it be a T-shirt.
You'll win the last fish that Siebe had on the screen.
So
I'm joking.
Other than the show, Siebe, that you've got coming up very shortly, what other plans have you got in the near future? Anything or?
I'm going to Japan again in September, first 2 weeks, but then for holiday. And then I will be in Japan again in October, first week. I think I'll fly there the 4th or the 5th, or maybe a bit later, like the 8th or 9th. No, we'll stay there until last week, November, and then I'm going to China again in December.
Wow.
So because Mountain Tree, they are my sponsor and they invite me everywhere basically. So I went with them to Japan as well, and they invited me to China, and I can choose some customers or relationships that want to join as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, you are from the UK, Lee. I cannot pick you. You have to ask.
So they're going to invite me anyway. Yeah, it's nice. Thank you very much, Jasmine. The fan is absolutely gorgeous.
That's cool. No one's coming on at the minute. So let's have a quick discussion, all right, with regards to Japan. How long have you been going out there, Siebe?
Since I was 14, so 12 years.
12 years. Dave? Fuck, he's so old.
2006, 7, 6.
So around 20 years.
Yeah.
Lee, you've been doing it about 6. Right, me 4. So in the last 5 years, what has been the biggest change that you've seen in Japan, Siebe?
Yeah, the auctions.
Yeah, that's the biggest, without a doubt.
How has that changed everything, though?
The online auctions made everything so different. But I think it's in both in a negative and positive way, because what I like about it is the transparency. The koi wheel became more open to everybody, so it's more difficult for weird, strange dealers to have a good network and a relationship, because it's easier to compete, right? If you get, for example, for you two, it's easier to introduce yourself to the market these days than it was in Davis' time, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, why is that?
Yeah, because you have the internet, right? And you have the Chris or whoever. For example, Chris has SKS is one of the oldest one in the UK, or Dave, you're all in the street for a long time. On the auctions online, you're all equal. So you have access to all the same koi. If you are 1 month in the industry or 1 century, it doesn't make any difference.
No.
It's easier for new guys to come in, which is fine, I think.
And it makes no difference now. It doesn't matter when you're in Japan. It's like when I first started, it was a lottery. Do we go this month? Do we go that month? Do we try and get to the breeders first, or are we going to be too late? And it was always this with your head. But now with most farms, it's quite simple. His best koi go to auction. So there's no gamble there anymore as whether you'll be in Japan when they release certain koi or not. They just put them to auction now.
Yep.
Do we all get access to the same sort of fish, though, Siebe?
It depends. On auctions, we're all equal. On lucky draw, we're all equal. Just outside of these events, we aren't. So there's where you can make a difference.
Yeah.
How so? Just to explain it to the viewers, mate. Because I think that some customers have this illusion that all of these amazing koi are available to absolutely everybody.
Well, you know what it is? I think getting the best koi is also your own illusion, because you go, for example, to a breeder who has 50 Nisai in their pond, and if they never met you, they will just test you. And when you pick the first Nisai you pick, and you are very enthusiastic about this koi, they will say, you did a great job. This is one of the best ones I have. And that's even if you maybe pick the worst one in there, and you think by yourself, I'm great. I'm the best koi selector ever alive, because I went here the first time and I picked their best koi. So you also pay the best price for that koi because you are convinced you bought the best fish. And then you want to sell that koi, and you have some hobbyists with some certain knowledge, and they think, I can get a better koi somewhere else. So you get stuck with that koi. And that's funny because breeders, they are very, a lot of dealers come and go, right? So they see different faces every year. So that's quite funny, and they know how to act with that. So they know every time you go in there, you the first time they just test you, which is, if you get further than the testing phase, then they know what they can rely on, right? If Lee comes in and he always selects nice koi, and when he picks a shitty one, and I ask a high price as a breeder, and he says, fuck off, it's too expensive for the quality I get, then the next time they will ask you a better price, because they know that he will refuse the ridiculous offer. And I think that's the best way into getting access to better and better koi, is just sometimes just refuse because the price is too crazy, even if it feels like your best friend.
It's very difficult to say no sometimes as well, because there's this aura that if you say no, you're disrespecting as well, because he's having an understanding of the culture out there. However, when it comes to business, you've got to have them gonads, and you've got to say, no, not happening.
Yeah, but also the way you handle, right? Sometimes dealers get in a certain breeder and they just put 20 fish in a bowl, mix them around, pull them up, measure them, whatever. And then they just say, oh, no, thank you. Of course, then the breeder will be mad because maybe we damage the fish, gives it a lot of stress. What I usually do is I go into a breeder and I like a koi and they just net it. And I say, what's the price range of this koi? And if they ask a ridiculous price, I'll just say, oh, no, thank you. And that's no problem. But if you put a lot of fish in the bowl, you start throwing them in a certain bowl or another bowl, yeah, then of course it's quite inappropriate to say no.
What about haggling over there, Siebe? Is that sort of taking a back seat now?
Haggling means like negotiating, right?
Negotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine to some extent.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to bid half the price. So
No, there's a limit.
yeah, and especially when you buy a lot of pieces, you can, of course, you can negotiate a lot. But yeah, it just depends from deal to deal, I think.
And what about the future of the pricing in Japan? Is it going to continually get stronger and stronger?
No, I think it will get better for us because our American friends, sooner or later, they will stop buying this amount of koi for this price. And the Chinese market will get bigger and better in exporting. So you get, on certain place, you get less demand for the super expensive fish and you get supply from somewhere else. So I think for our industries will be more interesting in the future to buy Japanese koi.
Yeah, I'd agree with that personally. No. Underrated breeders in Japan that we're seeing at the minute that you've come across. Is there any that spring to mind that is something that guys need to maybe keep an eye out for?
You know, he's been in so many videos already, but Yoshino is really a brilliant breeder to go to. Same as Yamaguchi, but also a thing you when you like those breeders personally, you also found them underrated, maybe. But they have great koi for nice prices, and they are nice people.
But it doesn't stay there for long, does it?
Yeah, that's the question.
I mean, Tamura produce nice koi, and you could get them reasonable for about 3 years. But now,
yeah, they are expensive.
His price now has just gone higher.
They test the water, don't they? And then when they've caught the interest of the dealers and the public,
as soon as there's a bit of mass interest, the price is just
yeah.
Right, I'm going to ask a couple more questions and then we'll call it a day today. I think we'll have a bit of an early finish because I am.
There's a couple of good questions there, Krafty, because somebody's asked, how hard is it for new dealers to get onto good quality farms?
Bear with me, mate. I'm not quite. There you go. Wayne Margitson asks, how hard is it for new dealers to get into good quality farms? I think that it all depends. Well, from my perspective, you've got to have a good agent out in Japan that knows what's up and coming.
I think it depends who you are as well. For instance, Donald Kerr decides to become a dealer. Pretty sure he's going to have access to anything he wants. I think if you're known and you've been going over there maybe as a hobbyist or maybe a high-end hobbyist, and then maybe you turn to doing it, you might have more options rather than just literally someone that's not known decides they want to be a dealer and then go over there. I think it would be reasonably difficult, to be honest, because I found it difficult going over there the first time on my own just to buy a fish for a show, let alone trying to stock up. Do you know what I mean? A quarantine facility or something.
I mean, what about me rocking up to Momotaro Koi Farm? Chances of me getting a deal?
Oh, Momotaro.
It depends if you're with that sushi or not.
Momotaro, you can, especially in Tosa season, you can just select koi. That's not the hardest. You know what it is? For example, I sell a lot of Dainichi fish, but they all come from auction or Odakan or whatsoever. But it's also not so interesting to go to Dainichi and try to select Tosa yourself, because They don't want people to come there and select fish. It's too much work. They can put them in auction, sell them for this and this price, and they know that. So when you come there and try to handpick stuff, they just ask what they think they can get on auction times 2, times 3. Then it's fine when you come to select there. But then you have the same koi as other dealers that they get from auction, but then 2 or 3 times as expensive. Doesn't really make sense.
No.
So it's getting into the breeders. It's not so difficult, but it's also what you want. You want to buy a Sakai Tosa, you can buy them, but you pay a ridiculous price for them.
You can get for the price of some Tozai that you get that are they can be 4 or 5 times as much, and you could go to somewhere like Yoshino and still get the same quality sort of fish anyway, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, for a lot cheaper price. That's, you know, the top end stuff. Yeah, you different level, but for a mass market sort of selection, absolutely can. But what about new breeders popping up over there, Siebe? How hard is it in your opinion? Like, because I don't think people realise how many people actually breed koi in Japan. Because, you know, I was completing a document a couple of days back, and I think there was about 58 breeders that I've frequented over the last few years that I've bought fish in from. But if you was to look at the brown book that everyone loves, the little yellow pages of koi breeders, there is a huge amount of breeders in there. How often are we seeing those new or those sort of breeders actually break through to the market where they can export? Because a lot of them actually only trade internally, don't they?
Yeah, many of them just have a domestic market and that's it. You know, it's breeding koi is very expensive and you need to be very lucky. Because, for example, I have 5 parent koi at Kibi Koi Farm, and I think if we get 1 or 2 stable bloodlines out of that, it's already a very good result. But yeah, you need to have space for a lot of parent fish. You need to have the knowledge how to select the stuff. You need to have staff to do all the culling because there's a shitload of work. You have to do so many things. Not easy to breed koi, right? And it's definitely not easy to breed the quality for exporting, because you have a lot of breeders, but the quality on those breeders is, it's not interesting for us. Maybe some pieces, but not on high volumes.
Do they reach the same sort of qualities though as we're seeing from the bigger name brands, or not even some of that? And I think that's probably the issue behind how many people you see out there, right?
Yeah, and it's the quality is the biggest issue. If you have for example, Lee, his best friend Takano, he doesn't bother about selling, but the quality he has is ridiculous. It's the top level, really, the sanke that he produces. But that's really one of very, very few that just not. He doesn't care about exporting. He just likes to breed very high quality koi, but that's the only one I can basically name.
He's trying to buy from him is a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a hard time. only Lee can do it.
Only I can twist Uncle Takano's arm, and I find it difficult these days.
Yeah.
I got to buy him a dirty mug over, and then he warms to it.
If you want to select 100 Tozai or 200 Tozai to bring back, he's asking Sakai money. It's just next to important. Although be it some of his fish are nice, but he offered me a whole pond, but it was over the pricing okay on that. But the amount of fish that you don't want out of that whole pond is far too great. So, you know, right. Last question for you, Siebe, and then I think I don't want to leave that there. Biggest mistake that you've made buying koi?
The biggest mistake of buying koi is at the start you have a certain feeling for breeders that you like, but there's no market demand for those koi at all. So you think you are buying nice koi with nice potential, but at the end you are stuck with these koi for years, and you just have to be very lucky that they get sold for your input price. And that's basically the biggest mistake I've made. And it's not that I made these many times, but just you had some koi that you thought, oh, how could I ever buy this? It's nice, but it's not from a breeder that's very famous, or the size not big enough. It doesn't have the traits that it should have.
Yeah, you know something, mate. I really relate to that. I mean, year one Tucano for me in trade. Year one Tucano. I bought a job lot off of Ricky Stoddart. There was a few bangers that went out, but I was very quick. Tucano, yeah, I'll have them, and then without really looking through them, and then you are stuck with fish. But then year two, out to NND, had a fabulous trip out there. Still one of the most memorable, actually, when I've been out to Japan, where we've gone and selected through, and the Sankey I picked fabulous, but just not big sellers in the UK. NND.
NND's it never has been, has it?
But
crazy, because they're crazy good as well.
Yeah, it's just never been. Yeah, I think it stems back to quite a few years ago, because they used to obviously produce Showa, and they were known for not growing that. They would peak at sort of 65 cm or something like 70 cm. They weren't very, and I think that's where it stems from, and that sort of reputation of, well, you don't want to be getting them from there. So they've always been a difficult to sell, NND.
It was obviously, you remember, well, NND wasn't NND before the big earthquake, but you must have been going to Kobayashi and all that kind of stuff before the earthquake. Were you, when they had the 3 facilities different? Were you going there then, Dave?
No, I've never been that far up, because I've always done south. You see.
Of course, yes.
So I never had fish from the individual breeders before they merged, but they've always been a hard, for some reason.
Yeah.
And I've seen some Tosai from there, Kohaku and whatever, and you think, they look very, very nice. But
they're amazing. I've spent loads of time there with Ryan, and obviously it's great. And Donald has loads of, and Siebe has loads of good results on the show scenes with NND, don't you, Siebe?
But
and they're really lovely people. I don't understand it.
It's not in the UK as Sakai, Dainichi, Momotaro.
Well, NND now is quite interesting, because they are the first foreign-owned koi farm in Japan at the moment.
At the moment, they are. Yeah, they've been bought completely out, haven't they?
Yeah, and there are some really, really nice koi from other farms in NND, and they're preparing them, growing them for all Japan level.
Yeah. Is it Americans? Americans now own it? Yeah.
So that's quite a change.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Paul Cunningham. Good evening, Paul. Any of the southern breeders who are hard to sell? I know Paul's been to a couple, actually.
Yeah. And in my eyes, from the last few years, not before, but from the last, let's say, 3-4 years, Ueno.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, because they're a Showa that sometimes don't develop that quickly, and that's what people don't understand. They want them to develop a lot quicker. So some of his bloodlines develop a lot slower. The Sumis, you're not going to get that Sumi to come in 1 or 2 years. It could be 5, 6, whatever. Down
and Dainichi Tosai, or Showas in general, not even Tosai, and Isas are just bigger and heavier when they are younger. And Ueno is not. He has nice koi, and he's not super cheap. So you're basically buying for the same input price a nice Isa Showa or Ueno Showa. But the Isa is heavier, bigger, and Sumi is more up. So people automatically choose the Isa over the Ueno.
Yeah. I mean, I've had one nice one from him that came in at 90 cm, really nice. Yeah. But that got left out there by accident during COVID, because it was cheaper to leave as Azakari than it was to ship with the. So it did 3 years out there, which it wasn't planned for. So and when I got to the farm, it was just like this submarine swimming about. Really, really nice shower. But I get exactly what you said. Yeah, they are a difficult one. I know certain dealers that always say a certain dealer could sell Takigawa in the UK very easily, but he couldn't. But another dealer used to sell them.
I think it's the same. It's the same with Shintaro koi, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We was talking about heavy sumi, Dave, a couple of weeks ago, where we would look at some Sankey and go, no, thank you, far too heavy. Yet somebody would be able to pile them up and sell them. Like he would pick Sankeys, a lot of Deutsch Sankeys that had so much what I call flowery sumi on them, which to me look awful. But he said in his shop he sells them all day long. And I think that ties in nicely with a question from Rachel. Would you say in the koi world, some breeders like designers in retail worlds and others are more like your high street brands? I think that's a superb way of sort of putting it together.
Yeah, without a doubt.
100%.
You've got your big brands. We all know who they are, don't we? And they are a brand.
I mean, I think Siebe touched on it earlier when we was looking at the Subo Sumi on one of the Sankey. It's like when we're looking at the bloodlines and start looking back, they are trying to design that fish. Like Lee said, if we was to get that fish constantly reproduced on such a mass scale, that it would be the perfect scenario. Subo Sumi on every Sankey would be fabulous. But the demand or the price of that would just drop because
that's right,
we need to come across. But then when we look at the high street seller, you have got your massive, there's loads of them. Coda, Aoki in some aspects. Others, begins with an M. We get loads of his fish.
Marasaka.
Well. Say that again.
Marasaka, is it?
Yeah, Marasaka's one as well for a lot of metallics. There's loads out there, and these are the ones actually that most people getting into the koi scene. That's where they start to really understand koi, start to understand development, start to know varieties, start to notice differences when they start growing, because there's such an array available from the mixes that they sell. It's the high street runs there.
Siebe, you don't really sell anything like that, do you? You're mainly now doing
high end.
Yeah, high end Tosai only.
No. Actually 99% of what I'm selling recently is all to dealers.
Yeah.
So koi of 200 yen.
Oh, right, okay. So you are, okay, that's fair play. Yeah.
You also supply shops, Siebe, is that correct?
Yeah.
So that's cool. Rachel asked another question actually. He says, let's put that to everyone. Okay, so thanks for plugging. Just so you know, I have the competitions page has got a Japan trip up for winning. Have a look at Perfect Aquatics competitions for a chance to win a trip to Japan with a purse as well, and also be accompanied by some of us.
I can answer that question quite easy.
Go on then, Dave.
The main tip.
Read it first for those people that won't watch but will listen. So what would be your main tip for someone going out to Japan for the first time as a hobbyist?
Take 20 grand with you.
20 grand's always a nice start. But to be fair, you could take more than that and spend it, right?
Oh yeah, you could spend that you could spend that on the day one in
Odakan.
Yeah.
Eat on one fish.
Yeah. Walk into Sakai, you've bought half ownership of a koi for that. Part ownership. That's and true. It's Tosai.
But you don't have to take 20 grand. I mean, that's a false.
No, that's right. That's right.
But, joking aside, if you got 20 grand, bring it.
But I would say, if you're going to go to Japan, go with someone that is going to be knowledgeable, be able to get you around where you want to go, and also try to make it fun as well. You know, it is Japan, and there is also life after going to the koi houses. I mean, you know, you want to go out for a nice meal and experience Japan a little bit as well, don't you? Really, I would say.
I can imagine for a hobbyist, the worst thing really, in my opinion, it would mess with their mind. I can't imagine being a hobbyist when you've got your budget $2,000, $3,000 or whatever, and you're being shown 10, 15 farms a day. Do you buy day one, day two, day three? Should you have bought back on day one? I can imagine it actually screws the brain.
Oh, mate, it does. I can remember being there. I can remember going over the first time. I mean, I'm pretty disciplined. If I say I'm not going to go over to buy fish just for, you know, content, I will. First time I went over, I had a little bit of money to buy a little memento. But yeah, first farm I went to, Odakan, straight off the Shinkansen, straight into Odakan. I was like, oh, shit. Do you know what I mean? There was a Sankey and a show there. And I was like, oh, man. It's literally the first hour off the train, you know? But, yeah, it is what it is. It is a difficult one.
Yeah.
A tip for me would be, if you're going over to Japan for the first time and you've got a purse, irrespective of the price, try and give yourself a purchase that you can remember for the rest of your time.
Yeah,
and
nice momentum.
Rather than looking at how many you can buy, try and buy potentially one fish of great quality that has got the potential to stay out there as azakari. It is a bit of a risk, azakari, but the fish that you tend to get back has got by far a better chance of being bigger, better bodied, and
unaffordable
for your money.
And would be unaffordable if it goes right.
Potentially, yeah. You know.
What's your advice, Siebe?
My advice is, you know, when I went to Japan, is I had no overview of how those farms looked. So I had an idea in my head, which was nice, but the real view of those farms was even better. Like if you step into Dainichi main house, it's so special. And now the last year and a year before, I brought customers with me, and they already knew from all the videos which koi, which were in which pond or whatsoever, you know, those kind of things. So my biggest advice is to just let your ideas of the farms be there, and don't watch everything about koi in Japan. So just skip Leah's channel
and yours,
other things, and mine,
Have a battle.
yeah. No, but actually, if your own imagination is still there, it's much more fun in my eyes.
And it's great. I mean, as a hobbyist, the first time you go there, it's overwhelming. I went first in February, so obviously I was coming out of a cold car, Atsushi's car, going into then these heated Odakan's place, just stinks of diesel fuel. Do you know what I mean? And all the staff and all the breeders are smoking and chucking their fag butts in the filters and all that kind of stuff. Extra filter media, I suppose they're thinking. It's you're not expecting it, and then when you're actually back in your own properties, making your ponds, you go, I can't leave that because that little tiny bit of concrete might poison all my fish. But it's crazy, isn't it? What the dealers do to, I mean, half the ponds are literally just concrete and half of them are not even painted. So it's crazy how we think here, and actually the reality of what an actual koi house is. It's crazy, isn't it? It's awesome. But it's the really old traditional ones, like, which is crazy. And the old man of Maraseg and stuff like that. Fuji and stuff. You go there.
Eye opener, mate.
Yeah, and an eye opener, mate. You know, I mean, you'll trip over like razor wire on the way to the koi houses.
Yeah.
It's mad.
It's super dangerous to even walk around that place.
I know. And he's got his grandmother hocking up greenies on the corner of the koi house. It's incredible, mate. Honestly, it's amazing.
And the old man walks down. He's about 3 foot tall and legs really bowed out.
Yeah, I hope Tim Warren's not watching this, but one of the first times I went to Ofuchi, the old man had a quality Nishinigoy hat on. And I went, right, take that off. And I give him one of mine straight away, and he's just happy as Larry walking around with mine on. But they're great, mate. Every koi house is different as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you get the proper bespoke, beautiful ones like Issa and Danichi and stuff like that, but then you get like Kansuke and stuff like that. I mean, Kansuke is one of my favorite people of all time over there. He's awesome. Have you been there, Siebe? You must have, yeah.
I've been there with Julie.
Yeah, of course you have. Yeah, I love Kansuke and all those little special dealers, mate. You know, I'll never forget watching Kansuke. I don't know how old he is, but he's been doing it all his life, and he goes, right, we've got to stop now for 5 minutes because he's going to have his dinner. And he pulls his noodles out and he sits by his little, ponds and he's just eating, just looking at his fish, just engrossed in it. He doesn't talk to us. He's just looking at his fish. He just loves it, mate. It's unbelievable. The passion that some of them have got is incredible.
Takahashi is one of my faves, mate.
Yeah.
Cool place,
Yeah, it's like completely up in the mountains, out the way. It's a death trap to try and get to because usually it's 6 foot of snow and there's so many streams knocking around. You don't know where you're walking.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to disappear one year. I'll go there. But then just how he does things, the personal one-to-one service is great with him.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
You know, it's
brilliant.
Got a big chin and all. It sticks out like that. I just love it.
I just hope that if it's the first time you go to Japan, I mean, you choose someone to go with that. Don't just go to certain dealers. They've got a big spectrum, so you can really, really experience a lot of koi houses and a lot of koi facilities and breeders. Because
even if that's not the case, Lee, I think that if we go down to Agata.
Oh yeah, well that's different. Down south is I'm talking about up north.
You need to visit quite a few up north to see the full spectrum, don't you?
Yeah.
In fairness, yeah.
But Ogata, I've never been to Ogata. I've been down south once, but we never went to Ogata, and I'm absolutely chomping on the bit to go there because what I've seen in the last 12 months, I just can't wait to go. I really can't wait.
To be fair, like Dave's fish have had quite a lot of exposure as well over the recent months, and let's face it, mate, the fish that you bring back are top quality, mate.
Yeah, I mean, and he's getting better and better year on year on. The investment that he's made into parent sets is incredible. With Sakai, Dainichi.
Well, you're seeing it in the show scene this year, mate.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw.
The top of my head, definitely 2 majors went to Ogata fish this year.
Yeah, but I took you over to Craig's vat.
Yeah.
There's not many people. If they had to guess did he have 3 in his vat?
3, yeah.
If you'd have said to anybody what farm did they come from, what would have been the number one answer?
Absolutely wouldn't have been nowhere near Agata.
No.
Nowhere near him.
They'd have probably come back with 10 breeders before Ogata would have been mentioned. And yet, what were them fish like?
Yeah, well, size and body, mate, all day long.
Sankey was incredible.
Flesh. Yeah. And I think that it's time to put him on the map a little bit more for more people coming through.
And Ogata currently has a Yamabuki on his farm at 1 meter 11 centimeters.
Bloody.
What's the biggest you've seen over in Japan? And I'm on about koi, Siebe.
Lee's and when I went
that's a lie as well, mate. That is definitely not big.
And
smells big.
The biggest I have seen, probably I don't know the exact size of it. I went to Konishi in Hiroshima. They had some karashis, should be 1 meter 10. I asked them for the biggest one they ever had. That was 1 meter 18 or something, I believe. Those were massive.
Can you imagine lifting that up? That would be insane.
What did I say to you? Yusuke said the biggest Nisai was this year on the farm. 81,
84, I think, Dave.
80, and I think it was either 81, something like that, 81 cm Nisai.
It's like, what's it going to do, Sanzai?
Yeah, 3 meters.
I've got a Yamabuki in Ogata, which I bought as Nisai 66. Then I went to Sansai 83, Yonsai 92, and now last autumn was 5 years old and 98, 99.
Yeah.
But it's super skinny. It's only very long koi.
Yeah.
Well, it's still, most people would have it in their ponds if they had size ponds to house it, wouldn't they? Let's face it. But Siebe, I'd like to say thank you very much. I still need the size of your t-shirt, please, mate.
XL.
XL, good lad.
Yes.
So I'll get that over to Lee so you can have a couple of shirts to maraud around your videos. YouTube channel, Siebe, what is it, mate?
The koi page.
The koi page. So those people that don't know, there you go. He's got it on. Very, very good YouTube page. One thing to look at, recent video is the Keegan food trial that he's doing at the minute. They're looking fantastic, by the way, Siebe.
Yeah,
I didn't want to push that tonight. We're going to
good video.
Wait on that, but I think everyone can agree that Siebe's knowledge is second to none, and such a good guest to have on. And I'm hoping that we'll have more of your company on the show going forward, Siebe. So
just anytime when you have a gap, you can just text me and I will fill in the gap.
Siebe hasn't got a life. He goes raving once a week, but that's on a Saturday night, and that's the truth, isn't it? Because every time I message you on a Saturday, well, Siebe, what's the school year? And he goes, I can't hear you, I'm raving, and he's just in a massive rave.
You should try again tomorrow, Lee. You'll have the same result.
I know, exactly.
Mate,
raving in Holland is absolutely on a different level, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's massive
cool.
out there.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm going raving on the Saturday when I come up to the koi show.
Why not?
You could.
Koi raving. We'll all get high on pond bombs.
There was actually, before we go, there was something that I've seen up here. Gertz Rivers, thank you for joining. Have I said his name correctly, Siebe?
Sorry?
Gertz Rivers, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, kind of. It's a very good trial. Geert Schrijvers.
There you go. I was never ever going to do that without knowing.
Yes.
So,
well, no, I'm
yeah,
not
the G in Dutch is with that.
That's something that we could probably orchestrate, couldn't it? We could do that at some
Geert
point.
Schrijvers. But some of the koi we showed, the Tosai are his koi.
Okay.
So maybe we could make it happen. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'll just put in the.
Do you know what I've always wanted to do? I'm not going to lie. You see, like the Ewan McGregor does the long trip around and the long trip down where he goes around the world on a GS motorbike. Yeah. I'd love to do that in Japan, but from the very southern dealer, get a little motorbike and go to every koi dealership.
Well, I can ride. Can you ride motorbike, Siebe?
No.
You can learn.
Dave,
you got 6 months.
Yeah. If not, I'll get a sidecar, mate, and you can have goggles in the car. But
like Wallace and Gromit.
we're back next week, and we have got Bernie Woodlands and Alan Tate from the Koi Judges. Hang on a minute. Koi Judges UK organisation. Kajuko. Okay, so I think I've got it. Kajuko.
AKA Team Gorgeous.
Yeah, but I am super looking forward to that. And the reason why, Bernie Woodlands is a massive koi nerd from a judge perspective. We're going to talk about how the Z&A, Japan, British Koi societies all merge from judging perspectives. And I think it may just be an eye-opener to what judges really do in their spare time. And we'll start to look at certain things that are related to individual varieties, etc. And hopefully that can become quite a permanent fixture for us as well. Because Bernie doesn't usually put himself on public platforms. So, yeah, put your thinking hats on, guys. Get some questions asked or thought written down and get asking next week. because it's not often you get an audience with these two people. So until next week, guys, try and stay rehydrated. Temperatures are coming down, and that means you can get back to feeding your fish. So until next week, stay sharp, everyone. Goodbye.
Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers, Siebe.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
Siebe.
Take care. Stay there, Siebe.